Yeah. Hey, do yo. Trophied up. Yeah. Hey, do yo. Trophied up. Do your dance when the G's up. G. Spaced out, got me geeked up. 10 toes on the west, can I beat us? You cannot. Shining every time they meet us. Rack 'em up since 96. Yeah. Been number one in LA, something slight, that's the gist.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Talking Galaxy live watch along of San Jose Earthquakes MLS Cup. Cali Classico is back, everyone. And today I'm joined by Andrew. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Yeah, thanks again for having me. Super great to be back. It's been a little bit, but here, happy to be back here on Talking Galaxy.
It has been a little bit. You know, we had the whole World Cup break that, put a wrench in everything. But looking back on it now, I think everybody wants another World Cup break after the last two games of the LA Galaxy. So it is nice to be back. And this is our first watch along too. For a long time, probably about 3 months. So it's nice to be back. And yeah, any general expectations from this match coming off of a 3-1 loss to St. Louis and 3-0 loss to LAFC?
I think it's going to be pretty hard to find somebody who's feeling optimistic toward this game, but we were just talking a little bit about it. It has these Cali Clásicos, these derbies, they always have something a little bit special, and you never know what can happen. You mentioned it could be maybe a trap game. Hopefully that lands in our favor. But when we talked a little bit about it on Clash of Cosmos, it was pretty like 3-for-3 negative vibe all the way around, a clean sweep there. It doesn't seem very exciting. It's the same team that we saw just a couple of days ago. But there's some forced changes. We're going to see, a different back line because of a couple of suspensions there. That's going to obviously has the permutations on the midfield with Hack having to drop. And then the front line is very, very different. Mob has no clue what to do, where to put any of our forwards. Maybe Vanny has a better idea, but I think we know more or less what we're going to get. So it's difficult to feel too excited, but looking forward to it. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, let's go over lineups here. Just briefly for San Jose, the player to watch for them is obviously Timo Werner, former Chelsea striker. Champions League winner, and then another player, Bo LaRue, I think it is. Bo LaRue has been very good in the midfield. That midfield battle is going to be so key because the Galaxy have really been lacking. And Sanabria, Winder, Cerrillo is the combination that we've kind of seen the last two games, and it hasn't done much, clearly. We've lost control of the game many times, and it feels like, there is a change in the midfield. We'll go over the Galaxy's lineup, but yeah, those are the two players to watch for San Jose. And then they did sell their goalkeeper, so backup goalkeeper, test him, get some shots in on get some shots in. I know Daniel,
they might be missing traded. JT right now if he has a
tough
game.
Facing their old goalkeeper. And lineup for the Galaxy, JT and net, as you hinted, Ade at left back, Hack and Yoshida at center backs, Miki Amane right back with Lucas Sanabria, Edwin Cerrillo, Marco Royce in the midfield. So Royce drops out of that false 9 position. And then my guess is I think you have Taylor and Miller on the wings. I think you have Miller on the left, Taylor on the right, and then you have Paintcell up top. I think would make a lot of sense to me. Thoughts on this lineup?
It's business as usual, except for I think there's an obvious omission in the back of the pack. The defense, the center back pairing is the biggest change. Totally changing from the game. From that last game we saw midweek, Kamaya Yoshida playing his first game, I believe, since the World Cup break, I'm pretty sure. Good to see him. Hack playing his first game, I believe, as a defender. Since the World Cup, he's been back in that midfield, kind of continuing that experiment. But that's going to be my area to watch. We talked about those two San Jose players. The Galaxy defense has been pretty porous the past couple of games. You're going to be looking at those two pretty closely. Besides that, the midfield is almost business as usual, which isn't necessarily a good thing. We talk about wanting consistency, giving these players a chance, but these players have had lots of chances, and so, for moments we get some steps, but again, we've faced pretty significant losses the past couple of games. That tells you everything you need to know. And hopefully we are getting some work done to supplement that midfield. But as of right now, for this game that's going to start in just a little bit, the midfield is definitely, again, it's the same, not too much exciting thing. That front three, I'd imagine it's going to be pretty fluid, to be honest. You do see a lot of JP coming in, playing a little bit as a 9, but also sticking to that wing. So we'll probably see a lot of that. But I believe the first start for Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong there. But
yeah, it is.
It is. There you go. So his first potential 90. Let's see what he can do. And Harbor Miller, I mean, he's probably going to be our man of the match. Again, the youngest kid out there, but probably the biggest set. With at least that's what his play style would suggest.
I'm glad that they're giving Harbor Miller a lot of play time. Like, honestly, I think that with his talent, the best way for him to develop is to get minutes on the pitch. And once again, he hasn't looked out of place when he started. You could say what you want. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, he shouldn't be in a position where he has to be a starter. But, you know, we don't live in an ideal world, and the Galaxy are in the mud right now. So Harbor Miller has been getting a lot of play time, but it's very good for his development. And you saw last game, the lone goal that we scored, Troy Elguersma, was largely created by Harbor Miller. He just looks very lively. Even if we're down 3-0 in like the 85th minute, he's still out there. He's still wanting to attack and drive at the defense and get something out of a game. Even though a lot of players will, you know, they could just put their heads down. If you're down 3-0, it's like, whatever, you know, let's just get to next match, you know, get out of here healthy. And he's like, I want to get something out of this. I still want to fight for the badge. So I love Harbor Miller's contribution to this Galaxy team. And I love him in this Greg Vanney setup. I think that he could be very effective. Yeah, like you said, I think he is the player to watch for the Galaxy for this match. And yeah, the back line is going to be the big issue. I think losing Jakub Glesnes is just always a huge loss. You saw when he was injured earlier in the season, our back line completely fell apart. We don't win many games without him. It's almost hard to imagine what life was like before him because of how steady he is at the back.
And the Zonka days, you mean?
What?
In the Zonka days.
Yeah, the Zonka days. Yeah, who doesn't miss the Zonka days, you know, before we had Jakub Glesnes? I forgot he existed. Thank you for that. It's been like 6 months, and I don't think he's crossed my mind.
Apologize for the chat.
Since the day we mutually parted ways with him, I don't think he's ever crossed my mind. But yeah, the Zonka days. And, you know, yeah, Miki Amane and Maya Yoshida and that back line scare me a little bit. I'm glad to see John Nelson get dropped. I think he's been dreadful the last 2 matches, and well deserved for Julian Ade to get some minutes in here, especially on a rotational week. I don't think either way there was going to be a John Nelson start for a 3rd game in a row. So I'm glad to see that Julian Ade is getting the start there. I think John Nelson is a backup MLS left back. I think, you know, he's been forced into a starter role at times and he's been serviceable at times. But if this team's going to compete for top 4 in the future, if they're going to be a competitive team again, I don't think it's with John Nelson as their left back. And that's not a knock on him necessarily. I just think he was brought in as a backup left back. And I think that's ultimately what he will end up becoming. Whether Julian Ade is the guy or not, I think, you know, is to be seen. He's been injured. He's had his own fair share of injury issues. So that back line is going to be tested a lot. That San Jose front line is lethal. They're coming off a 4-0 loss to Orlando. So they're going to be looking to get something out of this match. So predictions for this game, though, I drop them in the chat first. I want to see what you guys say. I predicted on the podcast, I believe it was a 2-1 win, I believe. And I'm going to stand on that. I might have said 1-0. I'm going to say 2-1 win for the Galaxy. And you could call me crazy, but I think that the Galaxy are best when they shouldn't win. MLS is a party league. Results happen when they shouldn't. And I think this is going to be a prime example of it. I think San Jose, like I said, are also not in particularly great form. They're not a super team like they were before the international break. And, Cali Classicos, rivalry matches, how many times have, they come into these games on awful form and ended up getting a result? And I think all the pressure is going to be off of the Galaxy to win this game because nobody expects them to. Although there is a lot of pressure on Greg Vanney's shoulders, I think we will manage to get a 2-1 win. And if not, then I'm very, very concerned because 3 losses in a row is just would be unacceptable. It would be unfathomable. So I think 2-1. Maybe I'm an optimist, but I could also see a draw. And then my goal scorers, Marco Royce and Lucas Sanabria. I'm going to go with the Sanabria goal in there. And then Royce has just been playing at a DP level all season. So I'm gonna go with the Royce goal here. Andrew, your predictions?
To go back a little bit, for the St. Louis game, I predicted a 1-1. And on the show, to me, it was a coin toss. I didn't really have a lot of faith in this Galaxy team, but St. Louis, not that great of a team either, especially standing-wise right next to us. So I flipped a coin on the day. It went St. Louis's way when I flipped the coin, and that's how it ended up happening. And I feel pretty similar. It's 2 pretty bad teams. It feels like it's going to be a clash of the mid, especially without Preston Judd. I felt like when we last talked about the game, I wasn't aware that he would be out. He's definitely a difference maker. Has scored against the Galaxy. The Galaxy love getting scored on by their ex-players. It was written in stars for Judd to have a hat trick. So to see him not be part of the squad, I think is a big loss for San Jose, especially a team that, like us, is struggling and looking to find some form, put something together. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I want to stick with that, a 1-1. I think the homer in me does say a 2-1 win, but I struggle to see us to make just too much threat. It's the same recipe we've seen the past couple of games, and I know what that we all know, I feel like what it is at this point, is what we've seen all of last year. It's what we've seen all of this season, essentially. And again, we're still working on replacing those pieces. Again, in the future, in a couple of weeks, maybe we have some teams, but I was watching the Orlando game earlier. They, had Antoine Griezmann in for 3 weeks before the start of the season. He got in early. He got to know his teammates, and, that would be nice, to be able to face the season with some of your best players. To be fair, the Galaxy, of course, they have the injury situation they're facing. According to the Galaxy, as mentioned, 8 of the 26 of the roster injured and available, most of those being some of your highest paid players. Of course, that has to impact your team, and when we talk about it, we have to keep that in mind, but it's unexcusably bad. You mentioned that we're getting to the unexcusable point. We've been there for a little bit, I feel. So I struggle to see us get past the 2-1, and I would be happy to see us score the 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to preparation, like you said, I don't know when Will Kuntz realized that Gabriel Peck was probably not going to be at the club any longer. I know he kind of expressed that Peck wanted to go back to Brazil. Why are there not conversations being had earlier? I get it. They sold Peck like a week before El Tráfico officially announced. So that's probably not going to happen, within that short time frame. But for me, it's like, okay, I feel like the Galaxy could have prepped better for a Peck loss. I feel like they could have had those early conversations like Orlando did with Griezmann and gotten a player, at least on personal terms, to be like, yeah, I'll come over and join. Like, just get the deal done with the club. That way, as soon as Peck's gone, boom, all you have to do is negotiate with the club and it's over. It's over. You have your player. And it seems like we haven't done that to at least the extent that we should have. Obviously, I'm sure they have a list of players that they would ideally want. If Peck were gone, I know Kuntz always has a list of players at any position pretty much that they would want to look at and have scouted. But for me, it's like to have those preliminary conversations, to have those talks, better prepares you for the fact that these games all add up. We're halfway through the season right now, currently sitting at 10th place in the Western Conference. Obviously, playoffs aren't out of reach. it's very much within reach, especially the playing game. I could see us probably ending up in one of those spots, but I think I predicted 7th place last. But you're 5 points out of 7th place, which isn't a lot, but it is something to consider when you keep dropping matches over and over and over. And then at the end of the season, you're going to look at teams above you by 1 or 2 points and you're going to be like, dang, if only we would have gotten that replacement just that little bit quicker, then maybe we wouldn't be in this situation right now.
Those teams ahead of us will be the front offices who were able to get players in, like Orlando, right? And what worries me with that conversation is it's kind of a trend with this front office. Players coming in a little bit late or not being ready at the start of the season. It's not the first time. Basically, every transfer window, I'm not going to say since Will Kuntz joined, I think it goes on probably before then, but we rarely have a situation where the DPs, they're early, they're able to warm up, and usually they're arriving at Coachella, or they're like arriving a couple of weeks into the season, or a couple of weeks until the restart, like it's happening now. It's just the fact that it's not the first time. If the Galaxy had shown us that most of the time they're able to get it right, get their business done in a timely manner, and sometimes things happen, right? These deals are complicated. Things can happen, but if it's constantly a pattern, it becomes worrying. And when we're talking about what's going wrong with the LA Galaxy, we've talked a lot about the team. We've talked a lot about Greg Vanney. There's other places to talk about as well. And those things, like you mentioned, they hurt us at the end of the season because we're dropping points because we don't have those players in on time. And that's like, if I turned in my homework late, I would get docked points if I got any points at all. And that's the same situation with the Galaxy FO. Will Kuntz is turning in his homework late, unfortunately. You can have your excuses, but at the end of the day, the teacher doesn't care.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Will Kuntz, I'll die on this hill, should be under as much pressure as Greg Vanney is. And I understand that Vanney's been at the club for longer and head coach is more expensive of a position where, it's just like, the head coach, we got a bad string of results. Just bin him. We'll start over. It'll be fine. When it's like
most teams.
Yeah, well, look at the hand that Will Kuntz has given Greg Vanney. It's not been good. This game, and it's like, do I think Greg Vanney is the man going forward? Maybe not. I am probably more Vanney out. It's been a great run, but unfortunately, I think with every coach, I mean, there's very few outliers. Maybe Brian Schmetzer is one. Peter Vermees for so long, and he ended up getting canned, but he was at the club for a very long time. It runs its course. It runs its course with some of these managers. The tactics will get stale. You'll go through a bad spell, and it just won't feel like you could get it right anymore. And it just happens. It's MLS. Things go up, things go down. And I think that maybe we're at the end of the Greg Vanney cycle, and that's okay. See San Jose here with a 50.5% chance to win this game, and LA Galaxy with the 26.1.
See, I said it was a coin toss earlier. It's not even that.
Yeah, it's far from apparently. But point being, I think that maybe it's run its course with Greg Vanney. I just think that when we have those conversations, we also have to throw Will Kuntz's name in there. He can't be just innocent because of 2024, because then you could make the same argument for Greg Vanney. And I think neither one of them are innocent at this point. But people are more willing to give grace to Will Kuntz because I think it's easy to be like, the revisionism of, Vanney just benefited off of an insane roster, that 2024 roster. Vanney was just benefiting and anybody could have coached that team. It's just nonsense. It's revisionism and it's not the reality. Just like you give Will Kuntz his flowers for that 2024 window, probably the best window in club history, you have to give Greg Vanney his flowers for coaching that team as well. So we're off from San Jose here. What is your timestamp at so we could get this done early?
I'm at 5, 4.
Okay,
6.
I'm at 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I'm sure my stream will cut out at a point as well, as it always does. We can never get it right for a full game here. It's part of the Watchalong heritage, but yeah, I mean, this is a great point. Sanabria, I mean, I think for the better part of this season has come along. But last season he was horrific. But maybe honestly, that's the best signing of all of the ones that you listed. There was Lucas Sanabria. Because Zonka had to get released in a year, mutual contract termination. Nascimento, first time maybe I could understand, but bringing him back for 6 months was insane to me. As with Christian Ramirez had his moments, but never looked like he even fit the Greg Vanney system. As an early chance for San Jose here, JT saves the initial ball and then the rebound header over the bar.
Early panic.
Go on.
No, it's just some early panic there.
Yeah. Early nerves from the Galaxy. Bruce Arena led San Jose Earthquakes. Don't forget that. This game is at Stanford Stadium because once again, this is their MLS Cup. But yeah, these were awful signings by Will Kuntz. And for as great as 2024 was, I think this season was like a refresh. It was like, all right, you had the best window and probably the worst window. Not to forget keeping Diego Fagundes last season over Mark Delgado was an option that the Galaxy had, was to bin off Fagundes and even out the salary to keep Delgado, and they got rid of him. And Paintsil's in behind here. Paintsill. Oh,
why?
Has he missed that?
Yeah, puts it wide.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how he's missed that.
Great chance one-on-one, plenty of time. Maybe too much time for someone like him. But Miller involved, as always.
That fooled my mind for a second.
Mm-hmm. The way Trick was behind him. Puts it to the right, wide of the post.
That's a brilliant run by Paintsill, but he's got to finish that. He absolutely has to finish that.
Greg Vanney's probably going to talk about execution at the end of the game. Those are those moments he's referring to.
Yep. It should be 1-0. It should be 1-0 within 3 minutes here. And for a team that, is mediocre as the Galaxy are right now, those are chances that you'll look at, like you said, at the end of the game and be like, all right, if that goes in like it should have, you can't game plan for these things as a coach. You can't game plan for a miss like that. These are things where the execution, the buildup is perfect. Galaxy pressing up high, turn the ball over. What was that? Harbor Miller, the ball in behind?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, Harbor Miller. Great ball by Harbor Miller.
And there he is on the other wing getting involved defensively.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
He's genuinely turning into a very serviceable player for the Galaxy. I think it's only a matter of time. I think after Yamane leaves, I think his contract runs out after this year. Let him take over the starting right back position. Bring in another serviceable backup, just in case. But I think
that's even an interesting conversation. Harbor Miller has played almost all of this season as a winger, as a forward.
Yep. And going into the season, I don't think that was the intention. I feel like how many times have they talked about, we have Cuevas and Yamane, but we really want Harbor Miller to play the natural right back position. Cuevas is gone and Miller's still playing the wing position, which Peck's gone.
It's one of those out of necessity things. You don't have any options up front. You have this kid who can, you ask him to play left wing, he can do it and does a hell of a job.
He'll play anything. He'll play keeper. Yeah.
It's when you talk, it's a fantastic to have a player like him. I hate that he's our biggest leader. He's one of the youngest kids on the pitch, but when we talk about people who are always doing something that you can always rely on, making something happen that you can look towards, Harbor Miller is one of those names. JP right now, he made something happen, but was it productive? Almost not very often. Versus Harbor Miller, as we see in recent games, he has that productivity. And again, this is a young kid who's a leader. He's very low on that pecking order, or he should be at least. But here he is putting himself in this high position. What's happening is the other 25 players aren't necessarily doing the bare minimum to put themselves where they should be, which is above him. They're letting this little kid, I'll say, just relatively fly past them when these are grown men. It just puts into perspective how much Miller is giving and how much we're not getting from the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't have worded it better. Without Gabriel Peck, everyone was like, all right, Paintsell moves back in his natural position. Let's see him step up and be a DP caliber player. And it's Harbor Miller. It's not Paintsell who stepped up. For as much as I love him, I think he's a great guy. I think Joseph Paintsell, the spotlight's on him now. You are the sole designated player for the Los Angeles Galaxy. What can you do? And the answer's been not much.
That doesn't surprise me. The spotlight was on him last season as well. It was a little bit more shared, the spotlight, but still, he was one of the big players who was supposed to step up and didn't necessarily do it either. So when we talk about Greg Vanney not being to execute, Rob, he can't score these goals. That's JP's job. That's true. Will Kuntz's job is to get players who can score those goals. We've known for a little bit now that JP struggled with that. We've known for a little bit now that Pecker struggled with that. So when you have that information and you're seeing what's happening where these young kids, again, are flying over and you're paying someone like Paintsell $10 million, it's again, we're talking about looking at where to point fingers. I think that's a 10 million finger point is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
A player like Harbor Miller, who's on a fraction of that. Harbor Miller's probably making closer to what I do than he's closer to Paintsell right now. And
way
so
closer,
more to the Galaxy. It's kind of unfathomable, but that's where we're at right now.
I mean, Harbor Miller is making probably less than 150K a year to be probably a top 3 player on the pitch for the Galaxy right now.
The LA Galaxy, by the way, they talk about 6-time MLS champions, biggest club in LA, That's your biggest player.
Yeah.
It's Mark Royce and Harbor Miller.
Yeah, I mean, and then circling back on the score prediction thing here, I did go 2-1, and I know people were like, now be unbiased. Let me be clear. Before the St. Louis match, I think I predicted a 2-0 loss to St. Louis at home. And in that same prediction, I said, I think we'll beat San Jose because MLS is just weird and it works in weird ways. And party's a weird thing, within a league. And, I think it could happen. It shouldn't happen realistically, but I think it has, it's just a shocking thing that happens in MLS is you lose games that you should win and you win games that you should lose. So I've been standing on the prediction that we'll win this game, but should we? Probably not.
Well, it'll be one of those undeserved wins, but you take those points and you run home, right?
Yep. Smash and grab. I mean, we are the underdogs in this match. San Jose, before the World Cup break, we're playing great ball. As Buddha into the middle, almost won. What a save by JT.
Yeah, gets a little lucky. The shot kind of at him, but big chance for San Jose there. Galaxy lucky again.
Yeah. I mean, just look at this again here on the replay. Maya Yoshida just loses his man. The marking.
And then Hack with a tackle, but nothing happens. He touches the ball, but it's like his foot is made of a marshmallow. Nothing happened to it.
Ideally, Yoshida should look around his shoulder and cut off that passing lane. It's just not there. San Jose probably should have buried that chance. Not as clear cut as the Paintsell one, but that is, this game's very back and forth. As Paintsell is in behind again, just pace abuse. Come on
his own.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good defending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Couldn't get the position, but almost made something out of nothing. That's what you want from a
DT all the way out to midfield.
It's a football or a basketball game right now, back and forth.
Yeah, I've loved JT as the starter. I had questions when can he be a starter for the Los Angeles Galaxy? Yes, I think the answer is yes. Is the ball into the box?
Another one across the top.
What a block by Sanabria, though, putting his body on the line. I'd love to see that from him.
The Galaxy very vulnerable to that pass across the box, that cutback. It's twice in 2 plays that they basically mirrored the same chance, but on the other side, almost at the penalty spot.
Timo Werner just plays an excellent ball across the area and just top of the box. Nobody is marking the man. Sanabria just last-ditch attempt to get something on it, or that probably is a goal. Another corner kick. or no, first corner kick of the night for San Jose. Timo Werner to take, the captain of San Jose, into the box and back post. Buddha, ball, foul in the buildup. All right, Lucas
Gets the ball
Sanabria.
and some of Sanabria.
Yeah, Lucas Sanabria down with a bit of a head injury, I believe. Yeah, going up for that header on Buddha. Just, yeah, catches him there.
Body on the line early.
Yeah, I mean, this is a rivalry match. You know, the history of this long predates El Tráfico. And you know, it's died out a little bit in recent years compared to its height, but it probably taken a bit of a back seat. I think, you know, once again, this is a game that San Jose cares. That's an awful turnover by Edwin Cerrillo. Timo Werner on Cerrillo, Werner into the box.
Sanabria saving the day again, but pressure's still on.
That's an awful turnover by Edwin.
Not Werner, the first time. Lucky this one didn't concede a goal like it has in other games.
Yep, corner kick. I believe he had a turnover in the LAFC match, if I'm not mistaken, that led to a goal. So, yeah, I mean, this match has the history to it. Maybe doesn't have the same, you know, light it used to. Like, it doesn't have the same flair. But it is still a historic rivalry that you have to pay its respect to. Timo Werner back in. Oh, Robert Taylor.
He's swatting at it, not quite getting it out the box, but there goes Miller.
Oh, Miller posts him. Come on.
He's gone
Miller with 2 men on him. You got Paintsill. Royce to Paintsill. Paintsill scored on the counter attack. It's 1-0 Galaxy. What a goal by Joseph Paintsill. Oh,
that's
man.
Execution. Execution.
That is the execution. You know, never said a bad word about his finishing. You know, it's always been nothing but good things about Joseph Paintsill and his finishing ability. As pans to the Galaxy supporters section over there in San Jose. Oh, this is just great. Look at what Harbor Miller does. Draws 2 men to him. Royce just plays a great ball in. All Paintsill has to do is slot it home on the first time.
Off of the corner. It's a pace abuse goal. You used to use that phrase earlier, but Harbor Miller bringing that energy forward. But Marco Royce doing Marco Royce, getting that little nutmeg as well. And what I love about this, we talked about about Paintsill having too much time to think on that first chance.
Yeah.
This is peak Joseph Paintsill. On the counter, just finish. Instinctual, score the goal, and that's what happens. Once he gets it in his head is where we see those, you know, not those things that we didn't talk about, that we didn't mention about Paintsill's finishing. But once he's there, he's just in front of goal. It's about doing the job. He can turn his brain off and finish. It's great. So awesome to see that. Peak out.
I rather have Paintsill in that position. Just no time, just first time it. If you take a second touch, they're probably going to catch up to you. Just slot it home on the first time. I'd much rather see that than like if it was literally only him and the goalkeeper on the field and he starts from midfield and he just has all the time to think about it. He's just going to mess it up. Yeah, like you said, he just gets in his own head.
That was that first chance, right? It was basically one-on-one, him, the goalie, and he slows down. The moment he slows down and he's not going 100 miles an hour, it's game over.
This is a counter-attacking team. I'm sorry, Greg Vanny. I'm going to be the one to tell you your own team setup here. It's counter-attacking.
Dylan's been saying that all year on the show. He's been screaming that. It's sit back and counter-attack. With that quote that Greg Vanny has, I don't give a shit about scoring. At the start of the season, that was the idea. It was defend and then let JP, Royce, and Peck score goals. That never really happened, but once we see they defended well and they countered quickly, it's good stuff.
Oh, great interception there by Harbor Miller. He's, oh my God.
Is that Vanny with the touch?
Yeah. Once again, not enough praise to this guy. He breaks, Harbor Miller breaks that defender on the counter. You know, he literally slides in. He slides in and tries to strip him from the ball and just clean, clever move past him, breaks into space and draws 2 defenders is the only reason why Paintsill has that much space. Harbor Miller again and again. Like, once again.
Just always turned on. He talks about being at 100 miles an hour from the first whistle in that presser in the last game. You see it every time he's on the pitch. He's just giving 100%.
Yeah.
Top concentration.
wonderful player he's turning into, and definitely deserves the opportunities that Greg Vanney's been giving him. You know, now the Galaxy, once again, San Jose, they're going to be having to take more chances as this game goes on. The longer you could hold on to that lead as pans over to the Galaxy bench. I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's like what sport do they do that in? I'm trying to think where they pan over it.
I'm thinking like baseball. I don't know about the dugout if they do it there.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's a unique little thing that they're doing now. Anyway, there's a lot of pressure on this Galaxy team right now, but San Jose down 1-0 are going to have to look like this. They're going to have to press higher. They're going to have to take more chances, and that's fine. You're a counterattacking team. Just take care of the ball. Don't turn it over in your own third, and hit them on the counter. You have the pace with Paintsill. You have the creativity with Royce. And it really sets up well for you. That he's trying to draw the foul, not going to get it. Paintsill on the counter. Awful first touch, though. San Jose win it back.
But this is kind of like the other angle of Greg Vanney's execution excuse. When the Galaxy have been in this position before where they're trying to hold the lead and you think, okay, sit back, play on the counter, get your goals. But when they invite that pressure, eventually they break. Like we're kind of seeing now when they're on the ball in this third, trying to play out the back. It can create more chances and do maybe more harm than good. As we maybe get penalties out as well. You can kind of see that. That's the other part of the execution. It sounds easy, sit back and defend, but it's never been that easy for the Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, ideally a Greg Vanney. Oh, that's an awful turnover. Timo Werner.
That's the third one in a couple of minutes.
Timo Werner. Oh, right past the post.
Galaxy getting forgiven big time.
I don't know why that ball's going like 20 yards behind him there. I mean, in that situation, I just that's a bad turnover.
It's a big part of when Dylan says to speak for him a little bit, that we're a counterattacking team. We don't need to be playing so cute in those places. It's okay to boot it sometimes, clear the pressure. But since we're playing Vanney ball and Greg Vanney's right there, he's saying pass it. We're trying to pass it out the back, and again, that was the about third time we lost the ball in that area in the last couple of minutes. It's because nobody boots it because we're not allowed to. And I think we should kind of allow ourselves to do that a little bit, or we're going to start conceding.
Yeah. I mean, how many more turnovers can you take? The San Jose attack is one of the best in Major League Soccer right now. You can't afford it. Like you said, I think the Galaxy have to break out of this press. They're pressing. Honestly, that turnover was so completely unforced, like generally speaking, and it almost leads to San Jose goal. We just got to take care of the ball better. And like you said, it's okay to take chances. It's totally okay for this team to boot a ball forward and it doesn't work out. Fine. They start with the ball in their own third, you get
to regroup, get in position,
get back in shape. Get back in that defensive shape. Instead, they're trying to play it cutely. And look, it can work in a Greg Vanney system where you have a Ricky Puig, Giovinco, Pozuelo level number 10, but we don't have it right now. We don't have a mobile number 10. Marco Royce, for as great as he is, he needs the ball in high position up the field.
What Harvard Miller just did on that goal, he drove it basically from the box to the attacking third and just laid it off for Marco Royce to finish there. But that's exactly what he did. As you mentioned, he did that role. He needs that extra piece, a delivery.
I mean, this game is going to be you're going to live or die on the counterattack for me. It's just you're going to end up winning this game because San Jose are going to take chances and you're just going to keep hitting them over and over again on the counter, and they're looking open on it. They only have like 3 defenders back and it's a 3v3.
They're pressing very high. They're leaving themselves vulnerable for sure.
These are training ground situations. These are things that you practice. These 3-on-3 situations, and
boots, right?
Yeah, JT under pressure is just going to boot it out. That's totally
that's
fine.
What we're asking for. At least I'd rather that than another one of those passes across the 6.
Yeah, trying to play it out the back. We don't have to get cute with it.
If you're going to give it away, at least give it away in that defensive third.
Yeah, I think the Galaxy are just going to have to play play on the counter, not the build up. San Jose are going to want possession. They're the home team, and you let them have it. You just got to be composed and make sure when you are defending their counterattacks that you have enough numbers back, and where you're turning the ball over is in their half, not in your own third. Is where the Galaxy get in hot water. Timo Werner over this ball. Set piece. Sent to the back post, flicked on. It's going to be a goal kick for the Galaxy. But the positive first 20 minutes of the match.
Big time.
I think this has been a very good progression. And, you know, the longer we could keep this game in our favor, the more and more they're going to get frustrated. You know, you could leave them out to dry here. And I think the Galaxy have to, you know, and it's a Classico, get in their heads a little bit. Like I want to see some banter out of this.
All right, some chirping. I will say though, I think that 1-0 is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it does feel like it's been a good 20 minutes. I definitely agree, but we just talked about it. There's 2-3 very clear chances for San Jose. We could pretty easily be maybe 2-1 down, or at the very least 1-1 level. It could very easily be a very different game. The Galaxy are kind of dancing on that line right now. Something I was kind of thinking, Harbor Miller, he's being fantastic, but we talked about it. He's all over the pitch. He's going to have a pretty high, he's going to be burnt out, I would say, pretty soon, but in that second half, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's what he's on the pitch for. He's young. Vanny has him out there to eat those minutes. Vanny has kind of been pretty explicit about that, and Harbor Miller is happy to do that. But again, we're talking about burnout. He's asking a lot, again, of a very young kid. And I wonder who's up next, if they're going to be able to match that intensity. And if that intensity starts to fall, I think San Jose might start making that difference. Harbor Miller coming clutch defensively in the attack as soon as he gets off the pitch, if he does have to at some point. Again, he's kind of the key to this team right now. Is kind of what I'm getting at. I don't know if there's anybody else who brings what he does, and that could, if we don't. The longer we play with him on the pitch right now, the better.
And it's like we said against LAFC, and even more so now. You need to have a lead, because if you're losing by the 60th minute, who are you going to bring in? The Galaxy are depleted. Let me read off this bench right now for you. We have Novak Mitrovic, Chris Rindov, John Nelson, Hernandez, Winder, Parente, and Troy Elgersma.
I think Hernandez just got signed today. Yeah. I believe just called up to the first team.
Who's going to change the game for you? I think realistically, the best player that could change the game if you're losing is Troy Elgersma. An academy, like a college, what was he, a super draft pick, or came up through VCFC? Straight out of college. It's just like it's unreal that's our situation, is looking at a player like him to come and save a match. That's why it's so important to get in winning positions quickly. That way you could bring on, you could take off an attacker like Harbor Miller,
Marco Royce,
like a Chris Rindov.
He's supposed to be like this rotation guy. When we signed him, we thought, he can help us win games. We'll put him on for the last 30 minutes. All of a sudden, he's a 90-minute guy because there's nobody up next. If we can get ourselves in that rare position where we can take Marco Royce off, fantastic. But it's a pretty privileged position to be in. And for this Galaxy team, it's pretty rare air. I don't know how many times they're going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where if this game goes into the 60th minute and you're winning, then you're able to. I'm comfortable with the Chris Rindov coming on for an attacker. If you need to slow down the game, make it choppy for San Jose, that's an option. But if you're looking to chase a goal and they're dropping everyone back at that point, then you don't have it off the bench, I don't think.
It's what we saw against LAFC. They scored their 2 goals and they kind of sat back and the game was over.
Yeah, we were never going to come back in that game. Like once we were down by the 60th minute, that was it. There was just no classic El Tráfico comeback because we didn't have the firepower. We don't have a Zlatan off the bench, like the first El Tráfico. You don't have that kind of situation going on. Well, I think our next match is August 1st, next weekend. I'm hoping Kyogo will come off the bench for that game. I think that could be good depth for Greg Vanney. Or I doubt he'd get a start, but definitely
depending on how he is physically, I think is a big question mark. If he's fit 100%, I'd imagine he starts. I think he's an easy starter for me. I mean, maybe again, Roberts might be the bigger shout, but if we're talking about when we looked at Greg Vanney said we'd have impactful signings and maybe less impactful signings. When we looked at Roberts, we kind of considered him, no disrespect to him, one of the lesser impactful signings. And we look at Kyogo, as obviously our TAM player, as that more impactful signing. So in my eyes, right now we have Roberts. If we get Kyogo in, I think you slot in Kyogo right there. Again, if he's fit.
Yeah, I think if he's fully ready to go, for me, it's like, does he understand the system? Like, is he, ready to play Greg Vanney ball? And, we joke, but it is an actual system
Definitely
that he is going to have to learn. But along with the fitness aspect of it, he needs to probably get at least 4 full trainings in if he's going to start. So hopefully that visa comes over the weekend. So by Monday, he's ready to practice with the team once they're back in LA off of the rest day. So yeah, Kyogo, what do you think? What kind of impact could he have for the Galaxy here?
I was excited to see that one. That was one that I was very high on. My mom, she's a very big Gabriel Peck fan, so she was kind of devastated to see him leave. But during the World Cup, she was saying, man, if we sign like half of these Japanese players for the Galaxy, we'd win the Cup. She was very, very high on Japan. So she was stoked to see us kind of replace him a little bit with that Japanese player. But besides that, when you look at kind of his resume, obviously there is that recent blemish, but it's a heck of a player there. And when you're looking at opportunities or deals, it's almost like finding a salvage title car, like a salvage title Bugatti. But you never know the salvage title. Did it get flooded? Did the transmission blow up? Or did it get in just a little bit of a fender bender and insurance just decided to salvage it? You could either get a great deal and have an awesome car like your Bugatti for $10,000 that lasts you forever, or you got a lemon, right? And that's kind of the big question, I think, with Kyogo. But I feel like that with his age and the difference in league, it feels like there is, a bit more of a better deal there rather than a lemon. So I'm excited for that. The Birmingham, I like the Samuel bringing up the Birmingham fans kind of had a little bit of a negative reputation just because he didn't necessarily get going there. That does concern me a little bit because we talked about Painton a little bit, not having those finishing boots, Peck not having those finishing boots. I get a little bit iffy about signing another confidence player, about another gambler. I want somebody that can deliver now. That's what we need, kind of that immediate impact. That's the one question mark I have is, man, we've got another kind of streaky finisher. I'm kind of sick and tired of that. I'd rather have a goal scorer, but I'm optimistic that he can find his finishing boots. Again, I'm happy with the signing. I do think there's a heck of a player there. If you watch his highlight reels, which I think a lot of us did, it's pretty easy to get excited. But yeah, I think there's a good chance we see a pretty exciting player there.
Yeah, I mean, just the immediate impact that he's going to have on this team. Who knows how long Joao Klaus will be out for? And then when he does get back, when will he be fully fit to start game after game after game? It's going to probably be September until you could start game after game after game. But you don't have that time. You don't have the luxury of time. And the future of Joao Klaus's contract's up after this year. Is he coming back? Who knows? So, Royce into the middle. I think he can make a great impact. He's going to be loved with the Galaxy fans. I mean, for players that like 1 goal in the last year and a half, even Birmingham fans liked him. Most of them, liked him. Even if it didn't work out, they still had mostly nice things to say about him, which shows that, it's another locker room fit guy too. And you look at, the Japanese players that have come over to the Galaxy, the impact that Mai Yoshida had off of the rip. The first 2 years, 2023 and 2024, he was great. And then, Miki Amane was the best right back in MLS in 2024. So I'm hoping that, given our track record, we've done proper scouting and he's going to end up being a good player, and he could get back to his Celtic, or at least half of what he did with Celtic. And you would have a very good player on TAM on your hands. So
hey, that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
DP impact on a TAM player. We're talking about getting a deal, getting that nice salvage title. That's a big positive there.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he could provide to this team in the short term. The only thing I could think about that would be a negative is the contract length. I know we talked about that on the podcast. I think signing him through 2030 is a long time, and I know it probably has something to do with salary cap and trying to keep him under that DP spot. But I just we'll see how that deal's looking by 2029. Let's just say.
Right. I think I'd be pretty surprised if he's around in 2029.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be. Joseph Paintsill with a great defensive effort there is going to win the ball back, and it's okay to draw a foul here.
Transition quickly.
Yeah, it's okay to draw a foul. All you have to do is just feel any contact and literally pick up the ball on the ground, and you're going to get that call. Good way, because he was not going to be able to break out of the back. So. Yeah, I'm excited for Kyogo. I think the DP, if I'm looking at Will Kuntz and the pressure that he's under, all my eyes at least are on the designated player signing. And I think all of the Galaxy fan base's eyes are on that DP signing, because I don't know if it'll be as recognizable as a name as people would hope. I mean, I hope you could land a guy like Zendejas. I think has been linked to MLS, an unnamed MLS club. If you could land him, that would be fantastic. You'd instantly be probably a top 3 winger in MLS. And with proven goal scoring track record, if you're not getting the goals out of Paintsill and Kyogo is a bit of a spotty finisher, then you have a goal scorer in Zendejas. I'm hoping it's not a guy that's a U23 DP that we're going to bank on becoming a goal scorer, because we already have enough goal scoring issues, as we alluded to. So I think it's always risky when you look at those U23 DPs. You could get your Pecks or you could get your Cabrals. I would hope our scouting is a little better by this point than it was around that COVID era. But, it's still something to look at. Is with U23 DPs, they don't always come good. I'd rather have a guy who's hitting his prime years and is ready to deliver for this team. That's what we need. Good long ball in behind, intended for Paintsill.
I think if you're looking at like the transfer rumors, we're kind of getting that. Well, we've kind of seen today, and I think we'll talk about it a bit more. But there's that midfielder in Palmeiras, I believe it is. I forget his name right now, but 23, 24-year-old Uruguayan. He's a big part of a big team right now. He's a big part of them winning titles. That's an immediate impact. That's someone who's immediately going to raise your bar. I think it sounds like to me, that sounds like a good rumor. And personally, I've been screaming for the team to replace someone like Mark Delgado, who you referred to earlier. Still haven't replaced. We talk about this midfield, these young kids, the Surreal Winders. A lot of people have kind of not been very happy with how they've been playing as of late. I think, again, they're good role pieces, but they've been forced to be your number one options, and we've been needing more for a long time. So I'm very excited if we do end up putting that DP spot in another midfielder. I think that's what this Galaxy is dying for right now. I mean, obviously, you have Ricky Puig in that midfield that you're not getting, but besides that, you don't really have role players in the midfield. And so it'll be Sanabria is starting to become that. He's definitely our most confident. But again, it's the midfielder. You need at least 3 big players there. You could have Sanabria, you could have this potential DP, you can have Royce. That sounds lovely, So when I'm thinking DPs, I'm not necessarily thinking goals. Your midfielder, you don't necessarily need them to score a ton of goals, but he's going to do a lot of the stuff that we've been screaming and begging for from Surreal, from Winder, just these things that link plays together, that breaks up play, and just tilts the game in your favor. You can really, you talk about having control from the midfield. We haven't had that because we haven't had players to step up there. So again, I feel like that's a massive hole we've had that's hurt us for a couple of years now. I'd love to see that go there.
Oh, San Jose just shot right past the post, but it's going to be a foul in the penalty area. Yeah, if you're looking at the rumor today, we were linked to Killian Phillips. He is currently playing at St. Mirren, and the reported transfer fee is around $500,000. The New England Revolution and San Jose Earthquakes, as well as the LA Galaxy, are interested in him. It is worth noting that he would not be an international player because he was born in San Diego. And why that's important and why that makes sense, why the Galaxy would be rumored to him, is because the cost of international spots right now, I don't know if this team is buying 3 more international spots. Because as you mentioned, we were linked to a defensive midfielder from Palmeiras, Emiliano Martinez, who would be a star. He would be a star in the midfield, I believe, for the LA Galaxy. And like you said, probably that Bergman replacement. We haven't had, that absolute anchor
I would say.
midfield. What?
I would say a presence. We haven't had a midfield, I would say.
Yeah. He would be an international player. So if they bring him in, then it's like, all right, on top of the salary, that's probably going to absorb a lot. I think Will Kuntz is looking at a DP winger. Okay, you bring in a DP winger, and it's probably going to be an international spot, unless he lands in Deos. That's another reason why that would make sense. Wouldn't it take up an international spot too? Which, once again, if it's a DP, it's a little insignificant because you need that player. Like, who cares at that point?
You don't think
spend the $300K on an international spot. It's not that big of a factor. But they're not buying 3 international spots. That would probably be like $1.2 million sunk in on international spots this window.
I like that figure because supposedly we should be getting at least $1 million from what Corner of the Galaxy is reporting from this whole situation with Inter Miami. We should be getting around $300K for the bidding rights for Casemiro, that whole thing, and then we should be getting a fine from Inter Miami. Josh is saying it should end up being in the 7-figure margin. So that sounds about 1.2 million. You could have, your international spots right there just from Casemiro, Inter Miami.
Yeah, and then you sell Cuevas, so that's more allocation money that they're making. But it just seems like it'll probably end up being 3. I don't know if every signing will be an international from now on. I feel like at least one of them will be. That's why the attacking midfielder Killian Phillips makes a lot of sense to me. Royce can't play every single game. The fact that he's been healthy as long as he has is a miracle by any metric. The fact that he's been healthy this long has been a miracle. Historically, you can't rely on Royce, and we haven't had a Ricky Puig replacement in the midfield. And even if this guy's Timu Ricky Puig, I don't care. If he's a fraction, if he's 1/10 of the player Ricky Puig was, that's fine on a TAM level. That's totally
better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Like, if this guy ends up just being like, I'm trying to think of a comparable player, like a better version, like a 20% better version of Fabio Alvarez. Let me do a little throwback there. I think that would be okay. I think that would be okay right now, given the situation for the Galaxy. You need another body in the midfield, and you need a more mobile body. That's why I think not spending an international spot in this guy would make a lot of sense. And he could possibly play the box-to-box role. This midfield needs a new look. I think if they could land Killian Phillips and land Emiliano Martinez, plus that DP winger,
you're kidding me.
I think you're looking at a much, much, much better Galaxy team.
That sounds like a 180.
Yeah, complete 180. I mean, you could be looking at, that team, that midfield. You could be looking at Sanabria, Royce, and Martinez, or you could do Sanabria, Phillips and Martinez, and then you have a front three of Furuhashi, a DP winger, and Paintsill. And that sounds very good to me. As Roy swings in the corner, my stream's lagged for a second, but cleared out.
You even think Klaus for a playoff run? He's going to be, back and firing hopefully by then too. He was a massive part of the Galaxy's kind of hopeful start of the season. I remember the first couple of games he had like 4 and 5, 6 games. There was a little bit of hope, of optimism still in Galaxy land. To have that back, that again with kind of those better pieces around him, that becomes scary. You become a scary team in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have Paintsill and Greg Vanney's mentioned the fact that they could play together. It doesn't have to be, one or the other. I know it didn't work with Dayon and Chicharito, but I think that was a play style thing. I think they were very, very, very similar in play style, very run dependent, poacher type of strikers. And
they didn't also flourish until that last season, really, that MLS Cup season. That's really when he became a good partner, someone to play with. Before it was a lesser version of Dayon.
We didn't know if Dayon was going to be the guy going into 2024. Let's not forget that. But he proved to be. And I think when it comes to that, you could be looking at Klaus and Kyogo, and I think that can work because Klaus is almost like a false 9. And then Kyogo can just be your more clinical poacher type of striker up top.
So dynamic, making runs, dragging defenders.
Yep. It's a very interesting setup. Like if you're losing a game, you could have Kyogo and Klaus on, and that's real firepower off of the bench that could turn a game around in your favor. So
if your attack is getting stale, that your opposing defenders have kind of gotten used to it, you could change it up and give a total 180 scenario. Bad challenge, late tackle, earns himself the first yellow, I want to say.
Well in, lad. Well
Get in there.
Yeah, well in.
It was a crunching challenge for sure. I love this replay. Yes. That's an 8 challenge. I love that. It sucks that he gets a yellow. It's not bad to see.
Yeah. It's another thing with Emiliano Martinez, though. It's like, dang, we're really bringing in like so many number 6s, and we're just like, all right, one of them is going to have to play the 8. One of them will work out as the 8. And you've seen it with Sanabria this season. It's just like in the last few games, it hasn't worked out with that midfield trio. But I think if you rotate things around, let's not forget there was a time where our midfield was balling for the Galaxy this season. I believe it was a mix of Winder, Surreal, and Sanabria was just working at a point, and it was like, wow, this shouldn't be working, but it is.
There was Royce in front of them, and then there was Klaus kind of finishing those goals.
Yeah, and that was working. That was working for a large part. And you keep trying different midfield combinations, and this is another one where it's like, dang, I don't know if we'll ever be linked with the true number 8 again. I don't know if we'll ever be linked with another Mark Delgado. I think every player, every midfielder ever from now on is just going to be a number 6 that we're going to be like, all right, somebody's going to play the number 8.
Yeah, just somebody tough as nails.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we need a number 8 so bad, please. But I think Phillips could possibly play that for you, but I think he is
interesting profile for sure.
Attacking midfielder, yeah. So we'll have to see. I'll have to do some more research into him. Can't say I'm the most educated on him, but I think, I don't know how our salary cap's looking right now, but if you could bring in those 2 midfielders and a designated player winger, this team gets 100 times better. Just by that. And then, that first choice lineup would be looking strong. Set piece, training ground routine. Ooh,
first time try. Wow,
he tried it. Bolero again. He really did have
scored
that.
Some screamers from distance as well.
Yeah, I thought for a second that had a chance, but that was always going wide. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting. I wonder how much allocation money we have. I really do. That kind of situation. I think Phillips would be a bit cheaper, and then Martinez would be a almost max TAM player. If I had to assume, I don't think he'll be a DP.
Not a DP. Not. Yeah, that's kind of.
I don't know if I'm using DP off the midfielder. I don't know if I would if I was the Galaxy, because then I think next year you look at it and you're gonna have two DP midfielders. I feel like that's very unconventional. Even if you have like a pencil, I feel like you need two DP wingers. It just works better, especially
You
if you
need
don't have
those
a
goals from your DPs, right?
yeah. Ideally, you want two DP wingers if you're not going to have that DP9. So, yeah, I think it's going to be something that the Galaxy look at, and we're going to have to see if they're able to get both of them in. But if they are, then I think those are two good signings. And then, yeah, once again, I know we got a comment in the chat about Zendejas. But I would personally love it. I think we did on our tier list. We did a tier list of all the DP signings that the Galaxy can make. He was on this, and we put him in A. He was in the A tier because this would be an incredible signing. I don't know what you think, Andrew, but I think immediately he becomes a top 3 winger in MLS. And Timo Werner here, Werner working on the back line. It's going to be cleared out. I think his goal scoring track record at an MLS level, he would just tear back lines apart. He is a clinical finisher, and I just think it is I think it's a guy that the Galaxy could use right now. So what do you think?
It feels like one of those more surefire hits. We talked a little bit earlier about Kyogo, how he's maybe a little bit more streaky, and you might want somebody a little bit more clinical. This is exactly that. The issue there is that there's a ton of competition, but it's okay if he's a DP. It doesn't matter what you pay him. We can kind of – the Galaxy at the end of the day are the Galaxy. They have that AEG money. We can go ahead and make something happen there. But – again, it's one of those that everybody's interested in. Another late challenge. He's lucky to get a yellow, I think.
Yeah.
I'm talking to. Wow. But Zendejas would be an interesting one. One thing I'll say there, again, he's one that everybody talks about. I've been kind of hard on the FO, at least in this watch along. I haven't given them too many flowers, but the targets that we've been going towards, they're like these niche names, but they hit the good targets. So I think in terms of scouting, I'm looking at Ravi Ramaneni, who came in from Seattle. He, again, revolutionized scouting really in the whole league. It was a big Kuba signing when he signed him, I believe, last year. And now we're starting to see the impact. He's really had some transfer windows. We're starting to see his fingers. And I like these targets. They're these guys that can deliver a lot who aren't necessarily going to be at those super inflated prices like somebody like Zendejas. Is somebody like Zendejas worth it? Absolutely. But you just can't always get those players. Sometimes you're going to Europe, or sometimes another team is just a more attractive for one reason or another. So you need to have that list. The whistle blows, but I think Zendejas would be fantastic. But I do like the direction that we're taking, where we're getting these kind of lesser known names, but again, names that I think can hit.
Yeah, well, I think as this game goes into halftime here, on that point, I traditionally, if you sold Peck in the winter, I'd be like, all right, just get another U23, DP replacement. If I'm looking at the context of the World Cup window, I'm wanting to capitalize on this. If I'm the Galaxy, I'm wanting to capitalize on some of the hype from the World Cup. Once again, I'll die on this hill. I know he's probably going to Besiktas, but Mo Salah would be my dream signing, and I think would be very transformative to Major League Soccer and the landscape of Los Angeles in general. I think he would.
But that's exactly what I mean, right? We have those options that obviously we would love, but sometimes you just can't land them.
Yeah.
You got to go to plan B, C, and the Galaxy have struggled when they've had to go down to plan B, C, or D. But I'm just feeling more confident that our options are going to be a little bit closer than they would have been before, quality-wise.
Let's not forget Peck was the second option. Their first option was Ramon Sosa. Gabriel Peck ends up being the guy and has the MLS Newcomer of the Year season that he had. But I don't know if Salah's happening. It looks like he's closer to Kansas City and San Diego if he were to even go to MLS. But that's my dream signing, because capitalize on that World Cup window.
Right.
And I I don't know if we will end up doing that. I think Zendejas wouldn't be like a massive marketing signing, but it would be a good mix where it's like he's a recognizable name. And
especially in that Mexican market, which the Galaxy loves, right?
Yeah, he's a recognizable name within that market. And he's also a player that is going to be serviceable on the field to you. And you could have him for 4 years and probably get really good seasons out of him. That's all you need. Bring a player over who's
that's the dream.
Prime years. Yeah, get great 4 seasons out of them, and then it runs its cycle. But yeah, so looking at DP replacements here, I'm hoping to see movement as soon as possible. I know we're about to go into an MLS All-Star break. I know we're about to go into Leagues Cup, which the LA Galaxy will not be playing in because of how awful we were last season, but also the fact that we had CONCACAF Champions Cup kept us out of the US Open Cup. We'd be playing that right now, but we had CONCACAF at the start of this year because of our Leagues Cup placement. So yeah, Darwin Núñez would be a fun one. I am a Liverpool fan as well. That would be fun, but once again, we just don't need a 9 or a spotty number 9. I think, I love Darwin, but I could see him going to Atlanta and being very successful there. I think he would be a serviceable MLS player. And if we needed a number 9 as a designated player, then yeah, I would think that is a player who could probably get you 15 to 20 goals per MLS season. He'll need a lot of chances, but he'll put them away on occasion. He'll get in the right spots. His pace is blistering. His runs are there. It's just, the finishing. And I think he
might be more similar to the type of competition he faced in Portugal, where he was tearing that league apart.
Yes.
If it's closer to that level, we saw what he can be.
Yeah. I'm taking Kevin Cabral here.
The big case.
But yeah, I mean, you bring in Kyogo, you have Joao Klaus. Realistically, there's no way they bring in a third striker into the mix. Yeah. But you look at what he did in Al Hilal. In 22 matches, he had 14 goals and assists. I think he'd put up similar numbers in MLS. So I think that would be he'll be good for Atlanta, but definitely not Galaxy bound. Looking at halftime here, the half kind of ended a little boring, but once again, the longer this stays 1-0, the more it benefits the Galaxy. It frustrates San Jose. I think Bruce Arena is a tactical mastermind coming out of the second half. They're going to be very re-energized, I'm sure. He'll make the right substitutions and bring in the right guys. And I think the Galaxy have to be very cautious out of this break. If you could survive the first 10 minutes without conceding a goal, I think they're in very good shape to close out this game and, start bringing in some of the more defensive-minded substitutions like a Chris Rindov off of the bench, or mix it up in the midfield, take some legs off with an Elijah Winder substitution. So I think yeah, it should be interesting going in the second half. San Jose is going to come out very aggressive, and we're going to absorb a lot of pressure. But once again, this is a counterattacking game. That's how we had the opportunity in the 3rd minute, and that's how we scored a goal in the 13th. Both of them were off of Joseph Paintsil's legs, just blistering pace and behind. Joseph Paintsil has always been a menace with his runs and his pace. Harbor Miller played him that great ball behind the 3rd minute. They're showing the replay on Apple TV. And then once again, on the goal, Harbor Miller, incredible individual effort, breaks out of the pressure in his own 3rd, takes on a defender, breaks a defender, drives forward up the field, absorbs 2 defenders on him, and then lays it off to Royce, who just plays a simple ball in behind for Paintsil to finish on the first time. I think even Royce was like, all right, you know what, Paintsil, I'm going to put this in a spot where you can't think. I'm going to put this ball exactly where you can't have any time to mess up this opportunity. And that's exactly what he did. San Jose haven't had too many clear-cut chances. I think their best chance was the one from point blank.
I would say they've had a lot. I was kind of thinking that we're lucky to not be down or tied. I felt like San Jose, the Galaxy have Does that San Jose haven't made a lot of chances? The Galaxy have given up the ball in a lot of bad areas and given San Jose a lot of good look. You're kind of looking at the replays that they're showing now. Lots of great chances for San Jose.
Yeah.
But again, they didn't create, to your point. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, the turnovers has definitely been an issue. If you look at the XG here, it's 0.28 to 0.21, not much for either team. One shot on target to one shot on target. But yeah, like I said, the best chance they created, in my opinion, was the one that they just missed from point blank. Shot it straight at JT, the one shot on target. Other than that,
shots overall, they're getting at our goal. You know,
it's been like half chances. It's been like half chances that have like come off of these
giveaways. I would say more than anything. These giveaways. Rio has maybe 2. The rest of the defense altogether is given. But there's a couple of glaring giveaways there. But again, not San Jose creating anything in the open play. The Galaxy have done a decent job of defending. They haven't, given up too much from the set pieces. They've defended well, but when they put themselves in bad positions or they shoot themselves in the foot like they did a ton last year, that's where we start struggling. It's almost like they want to give up goals sometimes.
Yeah. I think, the Galaxy, if they could pick their opportunities right on the counter, if they hit San Jose with the second goal, I think we have the grit to close out this game. It's really about, can the Galaxy come back from behind? And the answer has been no the last 2 games. I think when they're leading, the ability to hit them on the second goal, I just think, I know 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer, as everyone says, but I think a second goal would put this game to bed. Realistically, I don't think San Jose would be able to come back from that. They haven't looked necessarily impressive in this match. Like you said, the only opportunities they've had have been off of our own turnovers. And you could, obviously part of that is the pressing system, forcing the Galaxy to play it out of the back. And we've been a little too comfortable at times. And that's led to turnovers that, like the Timo Werner shot just past the post, came off of a really unforced giveaway. But it's just like, can we not shoot ourselves in the foot? Like, first and foremost, just please do not shoot.
Greg Vanney can't score for Joseph Paint, so he can't avoid a giveaway for Cerrillo or Glesnes or Yoshida, whoever's there.
Let's see. With question for both of us. If you're in MLS, 3 weeks of training with Inter Miami, how many goals are you scoring? If we're talking about at the start of the season, I'm going to put a better scenario out there, because if the answer is through the end of this season, it's going to be 0. But if we're okay, I'm going to say, if both of us, let's say I'm striking for Miami, I get every single penalty kick, I get every PK, and I play all 90 minutes every single game. Every game, including Leagues Cup, including CONCACAF, I think I would have 2 goals, and they'd probably both be penalties.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. I was going to say maybe 5, just because Messi gets a lot of penalties, so you'd be taking more. Maybe a couple penalty goals in there. But again, you're playing with Messi, you can get a tap in, maybe 1 or 2 in open play. If you're playing every minute, he can maybe get one. But that's the thing. Can I last every minute? 3 weeks of training, I don't know if I can get 90 minutes fit. I might be more a 30-minute guy.
Yeah, if I'm like guaranteed to start every single match, then I'm just never showing up to training. Like, if this includes just like, because if I have to go through the full training process, I'm going to be dead by game day. I'm not going to have any legs to go by game day. But
then you'll be gas after the first 3 runs because you're not.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. But I'll just sit up top and I'll let Lionel Messi get in behind, and then I'll just, hope. Who needs?
I would want to do the Sergio Busquets role. I'll just kind of lay it off to Messi and then let him.
Yeah, exactly. I think Miami would probably sink to bottom in the Eastern Conference with me up top. But I genuinely believe I'd probably have 2 goals in it. Maybe I would have 1 penalty and 1 tap in, like you said, just from Messi getting in behind and him being like, all right, let me get
Right.
let,
He
let me
chips
get
out the
this kid a goal.
goalie. It's just
Yeah.
you and the goal. One of those
Yeah.
ones.
You know what? I will take that. That's still 2 more goals than Ronaldo has in MLS. That would still be 2 more goals. So I don't know. I asked the same question. Like, if I'm in the Premier League, I don't care how many games you give me. I'm never scoring.
No,
I'm
no.
never scoring. The level and the intensity and the speed of play. I mean,
I'd be in a blender. Is what it would feel like.
if I was on prime Centurion Manchester City and they gave me every penalty, maybe I get one. Maybe I get like a lucky deflection. And I promise though, if I score, I'm gonna have the best celebration ever. I don't care. I'll run into the stands. I'll take off my shirt. I'll get a FIFA cover off of it. I don't care. I would make sure to never live it down. But the level of the Premier League is just insane. But MLS, I think I could get 2 in realistically. Maybe like USL, I could have.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, if I played in the USL, maybe I got like 5 if I was playing for like the best team in the USL. So
Still all penalties, but
yeah, if I was once again Premier League, it'd be in crutches. Exactly. Yeah, probably realistically, yeah.
I wouldn't last the first game.
Yeah. Substitutions. I don't think the Galaxy will be very quick on subs in this game. I think they'll probably wait till like the 70th minute, unless the game just calls for a sub. If we got like 2-0, then they'll probably just pack it in and bring on like a Chris Rindolph. But we don't have many players off the bench, as we alluded to, who can make a difference. So don't expect that to come. I think San Jose will be more urgent to the case. I think John Nelson could come into the game at the point. Winder can provide some fresh legs in the midfield. But I want to see Troy. I was happy to see him get his first goal last game. I think this guy has a lot of potential to. It's his second match for was that his debut for the Galaxy, I believe. And he scores on it. It's like, okay, he should get more looks. He should get more looks going forward. You got to reward players for having such a big moment like that. You got to reward them game time sometimes. So I think if the game calls for it, I could see Troy coming in for like Paintsill's hamstring. Let's just not test it. He doesn't need to go 90 every game. Yeah. Robert Taylor, how fit is he to be going 90 minutes? I could see him come off more realistically than Paintsill. But so our bench is depleted. Don't expect any halftime subs or anything. And quite honestly, we don't need it. I think we're playing fine right now. So it's just more so about not shooting ourselves in the foot with any poor turnovers off the back. If we're going to concede, let San Jose just break us down. Just let it be a well-worked goal. I don't want to see any just mindless turnovers out the back. That's so much more frustrating to concede.
And that's what we've seen a lot of it in that first period. There's maybe like a couple of really shaky minutes, but yeah, that's definitely the big concern. If there's more of that, and you wonder as the legs get a little bit more tired, as we start making some more substitutions, I feel like that becomes more and more likely to happen. So the last couple of minutes, I think, are going to be squeaky bum time, and it's going to be San Jose, putting everything. I feel like this second half is going to be about defending this goal with everything. I don't know if I see us risking too much in the second half. It feels like if we get past 60 and it's still 1-0, Greg Vanney is going to be thinking pretty defensively. I probably see Parente and Winder coming on as well. Again, just to make up those legs in the midfield. Maybe even for Harbor Miller. He's somebody who's been running a ton. So interesting. I do worry after the subs, like you mentioned, it's just not too much inspiring, or that makes you feel like we're talking about maintaining a lead. There's not too many maintenance level players, let's say, on that bench. So interesting to see how it'll go. But I was talking about the losses at LAFC, St. Louis, not necessarily being 100% Greg Vanney's fault, because what are your options? But at the same time, right now the responsibility is to hold this game, maintain it. We kick off, Marco Royce gets us underway in the second half, but it's going to be, again, I think holding on to this goal for dear life. And yeah, again, I'm not seeing too much pressing immediately. It feels like it's going to be kind of a responsible game. See this thing out. Mute.
I want to see this team give a classy performance in the second half. Like this needs to be a professional performance, which is easier said than done in a rivalry game. But you know, it's the type of thing where it's like the opposite end of the El Tráfico. Like, are you able to just close out a game and frustrate that team and pack it in by the 60th minute, where it's just like, you know, all right,
make it feel like the game is over.
Yeah, because Galaxy fans didn't feel like there was any way back in that El Tráfico. Do the same thing to San Jose.
The players didn't look like they believed either.
Not at all. As Paintsill's running in behind here. It's going to be broken up by the San Jose defender. Got to get some pressure on him here. Good. They're going to build right back out of the back. But yeah, just it's fine. We could sit back. San Jose have over 60% possession. Who cares? Let them have their possession. That's not what wins you the game at the end of the day. Bruce Arena knows that too. He's smart enough of a coach. So let's see how Greg Vanny's team is able to continue.
Nice break. Yeah, nice little play, progressing, getting into the attacking third. Not able to connect.
Some of these choppier fouls are okay. I think the best way for the Galaxy to go on is just chop this game up. Just make it stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. That's going to frustrate San Jose. That's going to
drive. Teams would play us with Ricky Puig. It was foul or Ricky, foul in the midfield, get a foot in.
Yeah.
Don't let them get comfy.
Don't let San Jose get momentum in this match. Don't let them be putting you under pressure time and time and time again. Just, it's okay. It's okay to sit back every once in a while. But you're going to need to, you know, commit.
Not shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. As this ball goes to the top of the box, back post, JT's going to collect. But yeah, thank you, San Jose, for JT, because I think he's been great. I think he's been great. And definitely, I don't know how much he would have stopped in El Tráfico, but I wish we would have had him more fit and ready for that match.
Those like salvage title players, especially somebody who spent 2 years off of the pitch because of his massive knee injuries. He was basically a free agent. We didn't have to pay anything, I don't think, to get him. His contract relatively cheap, I'd imagine. And because of that, nobody wanted to take a chance on them, but Galaxy recognizing there's still a heck of a player there. It feels like, again, that's kind of the route we're going with Kyogo. So I like it a lot. But it's another example, I think, an evidence of it working, which I like. It makes me feel like that direction is one to keep pursuing, so that we see it in Kyogo. It doesn't worry me as much as it might. I feel confident that we know how to find these salvage deals and we know how to avoid the lemons.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think on a low risk player like that, like, okay, it didn't work out. Well, he's making $200K a year. Who cares? Like,
the upside is huge, right? And
yeah,
the downside is not that big.
The upside of getting a starting level goalkeeper, you know, it's definitely worth the shot.
Or someone with like Kyogo, upside of getting somebody contributing goals in the MLS, very worth it. Again, kind of deep. We're hoping for DP level contributions on a TAM deal. It's a couple years ago, he would have been a DP for Atlanta, right? The idea is that he's still that same DP level player.
Yep, that's the risk that you take. Is like, okay, it's high TAM, but like, you know, if we could get him back to a DP level, then we're looking at a great value contract right here.
The ROI is through the
league. Yeah. I mean, if Kyogo is scoring 15 to 20 goals a year in a full season for the Galaxy, then San Jose through the wing, right back, just non-existent. Yamane, Timo Werner again. Good save by JT, but the follow-up shot is just bad. I don't know where Yamane has gone in this play. This
game has been tough.
Yeah,
it's been a hard game. As someone in the chat mentioned earlier, I want to say it was our homie Suarez, but so saying that Yamane has been cooked and Werner getting the better of him more often than not even in frame on that replay.
a bit of a scary look there 5 minutes into the half, but definitely the spaces that San Jose want to, get in behind. Like you said, they're going to be pressuring Imane time and time again. He's just going to have to stay at home for a little bit. He's going to have to stay at home. We're winning this game. There's no need for him to be making darting runs up forward unless there's a clear opportunity for it. So San Jose here, cross into the middle, cleared out by Imane. There he is. Julian Ade, not a great clearance by Ade. JT's fighting for it with Buddha. Ends up coming out on the other end of it. That is not a great clearance at all by Julian Ade.
A great cross would have been. But...
Yeah. Wow. All right. Galaxy throwing.
A moment with your heart in your throat. And then JT kind of having to hug that attacker, not even be able to get up.
Good use of the body by the attacker. I honestly didn't think
that's not foul as well.
If that's a goal, I think it stands. I think that was a clean play and way to use his body, just making it tough on JT. Ideally, I'd want to see him punch it. But, I understand. Yeah, he's just squirming right there and just hoping to draw contact. Harbor Miller launches in across, but yeah, no bodies in the box.
That's what you get when you have Marco Royce as your 9.
Yeah. Ooh, great tackle by Ade to recover there. He's in some pain right now, though. Collides with Buddha.
Feels like a recurring injury for Ade.
The score is 1-0 LA Galaxy for anyone just entering in the chat. And then
minute 52 currently.
Let's see. All right. Timo Werner again working on. Oh, that's a great dummy. That is a great dummy.
So now a couple of good interventions. Another one there.
Off the right back post. San Jose are applying the pressure now. Harbor Miller's having to drop all the way back to help out Imane.
We talk about the Galaxy sitting back, defending, holding the lead. This is exactly what you invite. So far, they've been okay. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. They've been defending good in the first half, but again, you're gonna face more and more chances to maybe shoot yourself in the foot or just to get beat.
Oh, good header, good save, JT.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hasn't been a good first 10 minutes of the second half. You talked about the Galaxy wanting to start strong, prevent chances. It's been all San Jose, it feels like.
Yeah, and you're not even really getting those counterattacking opportunities. Seems like they've clogged the outlets pretty well. As Yoshida, once again, best chances are just swinging it long like that and hoping we get a second ball or something. It's just not working out. And the Galaxy are now all of a sudden under a lot of pressure starting the second half from a San Jose team that looked pretty lifeless. Have now kind of come out to play. Marco Royce.
Yeah, I do want to point out, this is exactly what we asked for. We want the team to kind of sit back, be responsible.
Yeah.
This is it. And if people criticize Vanny ball, you could either be responsible by having the ball and passing it around. And we lost the ball a lot in that first half. We gave up a lot of chances. We saw that working. It does feel like we're doing that a little bit less. We haven't really had the chance to get on the ball, move it around, which, again, it's avoiding those giveaways in bad areas. Fingers crossed it can't still happen here, but you see that. We're booting it. We're okay giving away the ball. We're just looking for JP. It gives, again, San Jose that chance to build an open play, but it feels like Vanny saw something similar. He's confident that we can defend against him in open play. He wants to basically avoid that transition, basically avoid those giveaways, avoid us shooting ourselves in the foot. So it's exactly what we asked for. It's just awful to watch. It really makes you want to clench a little bit.
As long as the last ditch defending is, clean and precise, it's just they're going to have to be very focused here. And yeah, I mean,
want to say, like, performance-wise, I'm liking. It feels like this team has arrived a lot more than the teams that showed up in the home games recently. They're not in front of their own fans, but this feels like a much more complete performance. Like the team is awake. Maybe they treated those first 2 games as preseason. It felt that way. The team just wasn't there. This team feels like it's competing more just in general. The scoreline is obviously doing us a couple of favors, but we're competing, I feel, in this game a lot more than we did even against St. Louis, which isn't a great team.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I think standing up.
you look at it, this team is a better road team than they are home, which is hilarious because last year's on the opposite. We were awful on the road. I don't think we won at all. No, we didn't have a single win on the road last season. And this team is better on the road in 2026 than they are at home. It's just at home, they're unable to, I don't know what it is. They're just not able to get over the hump. Timo Werner is going to lay it off, just balls a little too much. Ade working on him. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's less pressure to not have to face your home fans after a brutal defeat. Maybe a little less expectation to go out and win a game. But it feels more like a mental thing for the Galaxy, just having no pressure, no expectation. And it's also, we look at the fact that the Galaxy on paper shouldn't win this game. This team performs best when nobody expects anything out of them. When nobody expects them to win a game like this, when everyone just thinks that they're going to lay over and the season's going to be over, they're just going to lose every game, they're going to suck. And we're playing a team like San Jose who's been good thus far. And you're just like, okay, you don't think anything's going to come out of a game like this. And all of a sudden, you're in a position around the 60th minute where you're beating the second place team in the Western Conference. This team thrives without the feeling of, we have to win this game. We're at home. We're against St. Louis. They're a lesser team than us. We have to win this game. We can't face our home fans after a loss. We can't face our home fans after losing 3-0 at home to our rivals. This kind of game suits the Galaxy so well. So do you have any full-time predictions?
Full-time? I mean, right now, I think the 1-0 looks good. I still have that 1-1. It's still on. But I'd rather be wrong tonight, definitely. It feels like it can shape up to be a 1-1 game. Again, it's still a 10, 12-ish minutes, and it's still all San Jose. Already, we're seeing some changes happen. Danny reacting very, very quickly, which is kind of
the first ones. Yeah, we're the first. Well, besides the injury, but in the first half, but we're the first ones to make like a genuine tactical shift.
I wonder if Aude, I see Nelson coming on, if that's maybe forced, trying to protect Aude there. He did stay down. I'm wondering if maybe some forced changes early.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 13 minutes into the second half. And Greg Vanney's already preparing to pull the trigger on some subs.
We got Winder coming on. Who would you say is off? Of Sanabria, of Wine? Sanabria, of Cerrillo.
Sanabria. I think it has to be Cerrillo. I mean, if you're looking to go more conservative, then it's Winder, or then it's Winder for JT again, the second header of the game.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking to go more conservative, I think you pull Royce just to preserve his legs and minutes.
Right.
It depends what you're looking for from this match. If you're going for, like for like, I think you drop Sanabria in as the number 6, and then you have Edwin Cerrillo off of the match, and then Winder just plays the 8 with Royce as the 10. But I could see them realistically. I think it will be Royce.
Maybe we'll find out now.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be Royce, but I would personally go with Cerrillo. It's neither. It's Robert Taylor. Okay. Interesting. I'm assuming then Royce plays the false 9. I'm assuming Royce moves up into that false 9 position, and then Winder moves into the midfield, and you have Paintsill and Harper Miller on the wings. I mean, that looks like the most likely outcome. And Ade does look like he's in some pain. So I think it was an injury sub, probably precautionary, but Definitely don't want to risk it. The guys, as we talked about before the game, for as injury prone as Julian Ade is.
Right, definitely. Yeah, again, interesting early changes. Force. The Aude one you can kind of understand. What do we think Vanny is hoping to get with getting Winder into the game, and again taking off a direct winger, taking off a Taylor? It's just legs. Did he feel?
I think. Well, first of all, I think Robert Taylor isn't fully fit to go 90 minutes. I don't think we've seen him start a match before this. He's only been getting 20-minute, 10-minute, stints. He's not been getting a large bulk of the minute. So building him into fitness is good. It's a good thing. Was he going to go 90? Probably never going to happen. But, I understand that. He has an injury track record as well that kept him out most of the season for Austin. So you just want to preserve his body a little bit. We will need him at later points in this season, especially with Tommy out. But I think moving Royce into the false nine is kind of signaling that you need more legs in the midfield, which is I agree. I think right now this game's kind of gone a lot in San Jose's favor. And Royce isn't going to be a guy to drop back, put his head down and do the dirty work. As Timo Werner whips in the free kick off of the crossbar again. San Jose into the box. It is a goal. It is 1-1. Galaxy looking for offsides, but just an absolute calamity in the box. And it ends up in the back of our own net.
But San Jose will feel like it's justice. They had a lot of good looks in that first half. All San Jose in that second half. Galaxy never respond. And you talked about Galaxy wanting to show up in that second half, keep San Jose out of it. They never, it looked like, returned from the locker room. I don't know who came out, but it was all LA Galaxy. They probably should have gotten scored on there. The fact that
is he off?
I don't even know if he touches the play.
Yeah, but is he interfering with it? I feel like he is interfering. Number 5 on San Jose. I want to look at a replay there. It does look like it deflects off of him. I want to see a replay on the offsides there because he.
Well, VAR would automatically call it if it was.
No, he's on. Yoshida keeps him on.
Hack is, I think, there too.
Yeah, Hack and Yoshida. All right, fair. Cerrillo with a half-hearted clearance attempt is never going to do the job.
A lot of half-hearted clearance attempts. There was Aure a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Can never fully get rid of that ball. And like you said, I mean, the substitution didn't even matter. It didn't, we were just talking about the impact of the subs and what it would do. I think it was made to bring in more legs for the Galaxy into the midfield because Royce isn't going to be able to be mobile for 90 minutes and drop back and do the dirty work defending, which we would have to. They're looking at offsides off the initial ball because I think they're saying that number 16 impacts the run of play, which he does. So, what are we looking at? Because he's not offsides. I was wrong on number 5. He was not.
I do think it's that 16, or maybe a handball.
Let's see. They're not very clear, and also, I don't think you could call that back for handball there. Yeah. I think that should probably stand. If we're looking at offsides, maybe, but yeah, I think that goal is going to stand actually. His hands to the side. It's not in an unnatural position. That's always going to stand, and it does. It is 1-1 here in the Cali Classico. We got 25 very crucial minutes left to go. Your 1-1 prediction is very much in play, and my 2-1 prediction is back in it. If you're looking more optimistic, I think the Galaxy could. I don't know right now. I think we'll have to see how the substitutions impact.
It'll have to be a big 180. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think the subs will impact the game? I think it adds a lot more mobility to the midfield.
Yes, I think Robert Taylor definitely was sticking kind of wide, not impacting that game. Winder, I think, would I kind of glue things together a little bit more. Bringing new legs would be good. And again, if Taylor isn't 100% fit and 100% fit Winder is going to bring more just from an engine perspective. You can kind of see hustling to get into a good spot now. Why Taylor wasn't going to necessarily be able to do that. So that's big. That's going to give you, again, he's dragging defenders, moving things along. It opens things up. So Winder is kind of a more attacking move, I would say. And then Aude, or you bring Nelson on. That, again, is just to replace Aude. It's kind of like for like. You don't expect your defensive shape, what you're getting, to change too much. We're looking more at what Winder can bring, and I'm someone who's been super, super high on him. I know 2024, 25 is still definitely improving. I think he has taken steps. He's not quite the same player. He's grown from last year. But we're talking about somebody who we need to kind of reclaim this game, get the Galaxy back in it. He's a good option off the bench. Absolutely our best one. He's going to want, I think, a little bit more help. If he can get Marco Royce involved, is going to be, I think, the major key. I think that's what you want. Winder, someone like Winder 4, if you look at the goal, it's Harbor Miller doing basically all the dirty work, all the running, and again, laying it off to Marco Royce in a good position. What we want to see Winder doing now is doing that dirty work, fighting these people, making those runs.
What a ball by Royce.
Exactly that. Winder getting it to Royce in a good position and Royce opening up the attack. And it's exactly that. And so that's what we want from Winder. That's what Vanny wanted from Winder, and we just saw it. So that's a very good sign. If he can give us another 25 minutes of that, I think we can get close to that 2-1. But Winder is key, and so far he's up to it. Again, he's another player who wasn't necessarily appearing in those last 2 games. He's appearing in his first couple of minutes now.
Yeah, I think, off the bench, he's been in a position where he has to start a lot of games, being an out-and-out starter. Not exactly where he probably should be at this point in his career. I mean, this is second. He's been with the Galaxy for a season and a half.
That's, I think, a little bit harsh, I would say. I mean, 2 years ago, he was the USL Young Player of the Year in his second professional year. He's like 19 years old.
Yeah.
Second full year in the MLS, and he's a starter. If you look at progression of a young player to go from USL Young Player to MLS starter, that's kind of
Paintsill. Oh, off of the post.
Oh no!
That was a great ball by Winder. It was a great ball. He's getting active in this game. Go on.
Wow. It nearly goes post to post as well. It was centimeters there is the difference. But you get the legs from Winder, laying it off, knowing what to do there. Oh, that's tragic. Near post finish as well.
Go far post, even though if that does go a little bit more, and it beats the keeper. But
it's just unlucky. It's millimeters.
Yeah. Anyway, I think the Galaxy looking more lively, and the impact of the substitutions on this game. We are growing into it a bit more as Bruce Arena is losing his mind on the touchline. I think, Royce to Harbor Miller
having a fantastic impact on this game.
Yeah,
he's had his hands all over it, and the Galaxy are in it. There was no LA Galaxy impact. Winder is on, and all of a sudden we're in this game. We've arrived.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce Arena queues up some subs right now, because this game is very much going in the Galaxy's favor after that goal.
Very quick transition, and I got to give a lot of credit to Vanny there for putting Winder. I don't know if I would have made that move, but it's what we needed. There was no presence for the first 10, 13 minutes, like you said.
And Royce looks a little more comfortable in his natural. Well, not natural.
Winder is getting him the ball in those spots.
Yeah. So corner kick by Royce. Harbor Miller goes up for it. It's going to go out for another Galaxy set piece.
Those weak foot corners from Marco I haven't liked. There's a couple in the last few games, and he can't beat the first man from that angle.
We have not had a proper set piece taker in a while.
It's Marco Royce.
Yeah, I know.
I get it's on the weak foot. It's not on the right side, but you would think he can beat his first man, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were having Peck take corners for a while, and he was not a great corner kick taker at all, for being honest. he would never beat the first man most of the time. But yeah, the Galaxy are showing a lot more life since the substitutions. Elijah Winder's been a huge catalyst of that right now.
Surprisingly, I was saying I wasn't sure how much he can get an impact on it. He proved me wrong right away.
He's just grabbed this game by its neck, and it, like we said, the mobility. This team is moving a lot more fluid now, and you know, it's just how we should keep putting them under pressure time and time again, whether it's on the transition or our build-up's looking a little more clean right now. These are the type of scenarios where it's like San Jose, the longer we could, the best defense is offense, the longer that we could keep San Jose having to defend and make all these last ditch efforts, the longer the ball's in their own half and the more frustrated they're going to get, because they're like, oh, we need our own chance at winning this game too. And as long as you're smart on defending the counters, set piece goes in the box. JT scrambles to win that. And
a lot of scrambling in the box in this one.
Yeah, a lot of scrambling. Harbor Miller starting to look a little gassed. He's a little younger. Obviously,
he's been running as well. We talked about the effort he's been putting in this game.
Yep, he's still running full speed, but he is definitely looking like it's taking a toll on him now. So never question the effort that he'll give to a team. It's just we're gonna have to. Well, I mean, what do you do? Bring in Troy Algarisma? I think at this point, Vanny should probably look to a guy like that on the bench to mix up the front line for probably Harbor Miller. San Jose, as we expected, Bruce Arena was never going to be happy about how this game's been going, and makes a substitution. Only one of them, though. Two, okay. Brings in Murray and Johnson. And we'll see if he could have his own little magic moment or brings in difference makers off the bench. So yeah, for as much as we talked about the Galaxy not having much off the bench, I mean, the bench has been what brought them back into this game. So fair play from Greg Vanny and staff.
That's how it goes, right? As soon as we talk about something, it's opposite.
As soon as we're like, who's going to come and impact this game? Somebody does. Set piece routine, Cerrillo into Harbor Miller, paint cell. Royce has another chance. Swing this back post. You got Mayoshida. You got Hack. Swing it. Center backs are up. Harbor Miller will swing it. It's going to be a corner kick. There we go. All right.
Another set past the first man here.
Yep. 17 minutes left to go before stoppage time. Paint cell going to play it short to Royce. Royce into Miller. Miller goes to the ground, tries to keep balance. San Jose have a counterattacking opportunity. Oh, Cerrillo doesn't get on it. Timo Werner. Oh, good tracking back by Edwin, and then Yamane recovers it back and forth. Now it's a corner kick for San Jose.
Big recovery there. That was a big moment. 1-1, 75th minute could have been a big game changer there. But like you mentioned, Edwin Cerrillo getting beat but not giving up on the play.
I like that hustle. It's okay to get beat. You're a midfielder. It's fine. You're going to get beat at times. But if you don't give up on the play like that, if Werner's just running one-on-one ISO with Yamane, it's much different. He had to slow down 100%. A little bit. Set piece goes back post. It's going to be cleared out by Marco Royce.
It's starting to get to those nervous times where every play feels like it has a lot more weight.
Sanabria is just going to clear it out. San Jose are going to build out at the back. They have a lot of men up.
Everybody in the Galaxy's half after that set piece. Nobody going back. It does feel like we're waiting for it.
Yeah, it's going to be cleared out. Galaxy having to grit their teeth a little here, which is, this is what you want to see. If the Galaxy are a good team, if they're going to win playoff games, you're going to have to do this at times. And the ball goes in, very close to connecting with the San Jose striker. JT comes out, collects, just probably about a yard too short.
All the way through the him.
Yeah, it's going to be John Nelson on the ball now. Galaxy under a lot of pressure. That is not a good ball by Lucas Sanabria. Puts John Nelson immediately under pressure. San Jose.
In the third, we talk about those giveaways. This is what shooting yourself in the foot can look like at this time.
Cleared out by Justin Hack. Hack has been solid.
Mm-hmm.
He's had
a good, I would say, return to the World Cup.
Yeah. He's been solid. I think the penalty against LAFC is a bit unfortunate from Justin Hack, but I'll be interested to see once I think a lot of the defense, you could look at that back four and just be like, oh man, we've conceded 6 goals the last 2 games, unacceptable. But it starts at the front line, but the midfield's really been lacking, and that directly translates into what the back line's able to do and the type of situations they face. So, it's me, Edwin Cerrillo.
It's like you kind of hear like we're kind of slowing down. It's again those nervous moments of the game. But San Jose, Bruce Arena, his changes having kind of a similar impact. That 79 just come in that right side. He's been all over it, going towards Nelson, who also recently came in. But San Jose finding some joy there. The subs again are kind of writing the story. It feels like in the second half.
Yeah, I think. Going into the final 15 minutes of this match, the Galaxy are just going to have to find ways to play calmer under pressure and stop forcing these turnovers. We're like collapsing once these teams press us high.
We're going back to booting it if there's a clear option. We're kind of doing that at the end of the second half, the start of the first, but we're going back to trying to play out the back again. And that's where we just saw us have some issues.
We were hitting them on some good counterattacks. We were building up well. It's just got to get back to that now. Good turn. What a turn by Elijah Winder.
Yeah.
That is class. It's going to earn a free kick.
Actually, even to get that pass off when a foul. Great effort there from the kid. Really slick movement there under pressure.
Okay, here we go. It's going to be a free kick for the Galaxy. Set piece opportunity, get it in, swing it back post, find a big man like Justin Hack. Got to get a body on this. Just be more aggressive to these second balls here.
You got my Yoshida, maybe one of our better aerial presences. You want to see him getting up there for sure.
Marco Royce standing over it. It's about to swing it in. Royce. Buddha. Sanabria, Yamane. Oh, it's going to end with the corner. That ball was
pressure is
going
on.
Out of bounds, and the San Jose goalkeeper just doesn't let it out. Yamane with the shot. I like the attempt. You have that space at the top of the box. Just rip it. Like, who cares? Here we go.
I want to touch on Harit's comment, who will win. I want to go back to what I said at the top of the show. Right now, it feels like it's a coin toss. It's that 1-1, and it feels like it's for anybody right now. It does feel like a basketball game again.
Paintsil. Royce! Deflected. Cerrillo. Oh, out. Blocked. John Nelson. Back to Marco Royce. Great deflection by the San Jose defender. Royce again.
Good job. Keep this pressure.
with the dribble. Oh, that is a hard tackle. But
nearly a great return to Brian Sanabria as well. Some great work in the box from Yoshida.
That's the yellow, certainly.
And then Cerrillo getting some inspiration from Winder, looking slick to win that.
Another set piece. Yeah, these turns have been perfect by Cerrillo.
The temperature of the game kind of rising a little bit. We feel the pace all of a sudden increasing.
Yeah, it's picking up.
Squeaky bum time, as they say. But very, very late challenge. Kind of one of those lucky ones to get a yellow. Super, super late from behind.
It's going to be a foul every single time there. All right, Marco Royce. Again, get the second ball.
In swinger, this is his better angle.
Yeah, games are won or lost on the second ball here. Galaxy have to be here.
San Jose conceding a couple of goals on the set piece in their last game midweek, I believe, twice.
Royce. Solid ball, just a little too far. I'm going to end up
leading it.
Hands.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Bolero burns Justin Hack. Justin Hack is up way too high right now off the set piece. Goes for it, though. Him and Yoshida recover at the back. Yamane.
Nelson doing nice.
Good defensive recovery. Ends up in Edwin Surio's hands.
Everybody getting back there. Harbor Miller.
Yellow card. Another yellow card for San Jose.
We've talked about Miller a lot, but again, that effort there, he's dropping deep, kind of playing as that winger, but makes a defensive play, goes immediately on a counter, wins a yellow. It's straight effort from the kid 80 minutes in. He's eating these minutes up.
Yeah, I like it. I think the Galaxy right now do not touch this. I like how the game flow is going, and I think with the counter-attacking team that we are, love it or not, Greg Vanny, this game suits us right now. Is Isaiah Parente comes on for Lucas Sanabria.
Right as you said, I wouldn't touch anything. There we go.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it, and then boom, there you go. You get a sub. Yeah, great.
Lots of hard minutes for Sanabria as well. He's put his body on the line all game. A fantastic shift from him.
Yeah, he's been.
He's one I would maybe want to see out this game.
I like in terms of progression from last season for Lucas Sanabria. It feels like, he's always been an aggressive player. He's always been, the first to get stuck into a challenge, which you love, but he's doing it in more smart ways now. He knows when to go into a challenge, which is like complete progression in the way that he plays. Because last season, he was just mindlessly and recklessly going into things and getting stuck into places he didn't need to.
His impact just from that alone, right?
Yeah.
Much higher.
Oh, San Jose. Yeah, the ball's going to run out. It's going to be a goal kick.
Almost getting turned. Yeah.
Yeah. Nelson has been another kind of issue at the fullback position. You talk about Nelson Yamane kind of not being as steady as they used to be for the Galaxy. I think they're going to be tested a lot in the closing stages of this match. San Jose again. Royce has Paintsil. Paintsil's in. Oh, that first touch kills it. Paintsil still. Oh, what a save. What a save.
Picks it out of the corner.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was burying top corner. See here, that first touch takes him away for the ball, but that turn, just brilliant recovery, but the save's even better.
The shooting from JP in this match, I gave him some stick at the beginning, but he's finding corners, forcing the goalkeeper to work. This first shot, maybe he was calibrating, we could forgive it, but he's been on target since.
That's a wonderful attempt. I thought that
for the keeper as well. Pretty safe.
The first touch takes him far away from the ball, but he just keeps driving, then cuts in. Royce swings it in. Surreal, top of the box, back to Royce. Get it back post. Royce to Harbor. Harbor, not a great first touch himself. He's going to go out for a goal kick.
Legs there from Harbor. Yeah. If he's fresh, I think he controls it a little better, but that's the work rate.
Yeah, exactly. He's still running around 84 minutes for 18-year-old, and he's still running around like it's the 30th minute. It's just sometimes when you're tired, these things get caught under your feet. And Galaxy once again feeling San Jose is under a lot of pressure, and they're trying to capitalize the late goal here.
Definitely. Don't want to say anything too early, but Galaxy stealing a point on the road after dropping lots of points at home. It's a point again, but the Galaxy dropping points. How do we kind of assess that, or how does that make us feel moving forward about the performance, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, regardless. Oh, Timo Werner. San Jose driving, that's not going to be a foul. Surely not. Okay, yeah, here we go. Counterattack, just a Paintsil. This is the guy that you want to see on the counterattack. Paintsil taking on his defender. Paintsil does not get the call to his absolute shot.
How many times have we seen this?
Yeah, Paintsil just screaming on the floor for that foul call. Is not going to get it. I would have to see a replay on that, but he believes that his shirt was dragged.
Tough for that one to go his way.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about these closing minutes, the Galaxy defense, I think looking a little stronger. San Jose, I think, is exposing themselves maybe a bit more. Joseph Paintel has been able to get in behind a couple times already these last couple minutes, whereas San Jose not quite getting in behind as easily. So we're looking a little bit stronger to hold out, or at least to close out the game is what it looks like.
Yeah, definitely. I think
not something I might have predicted from this Galaxy defense against anybody. Us looking stronger than another team, you know, it's I'm surprised in a lot of nice ways, I think, by this performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a pull. I think Painsaw
get a bit of his shirt. You wonder if he goes down a little early. That's always the thing. He's kind of going down.
It did look embellished, like he 100% sold it, as Paint still does a lot, and might
at the end of the day, it's a quick one.
Yeah, but you know, once you build a reputation as a bit of a diver, it's going to be a little harder to get those calls unless your name's Dennis Wonga. So let's see. Oh, not a great ball by Justin Hack, but
as soon as we see Cerrillo go backwards, we get in bad positions. That's like the pressing trigger, and all of a sudden it's kind of a 3-on-3, and we're facing the wrong way.
Yep.
And it gets us into those nervy moments. Cerrillo, again, looking forward, is a lot more confident than when he has to play backwards.
100%. I think, but like you said, the best position to get that guy in is just attacking straight at him midfield. But Yoshida's going to have to do some work here. Clears it out. Yamane. Harbor Miller working with Yamane. It's kind of interesting to see those two right backs on the same flank there. You know, Miller has the work ethic to just go up and down the line as he's done all game.
All over the
Yoshida gets stuck in, but that is definitely a foul.
That looked like he got some of the ball to me. That looked good to me at first. But
let me see. I feel
like referee was right in front of him. Had a great view.
No, he does get ball. Yeah, fair. I thought he got player and then ball, but no, he definitely looks like he got the ball first.
You can get a bit of both. That's footy, right? You're supposed to get.
Yeah. It's just about what comes first. You know, you get ball then player, you get player then ball. But I think the ref probably gets that one wrong there. But, you know, here we go. Set piece San Jose.
3 minutes to go in regulation.
Timo Werner. No, that's gonna be a goal kick for the Galaxy. They tried to pull a fast one on us, and they're gonna be shouting for a penalty, but I don't think they had much of a case there.
Trying to get what JP didn't.
Yeah, it's just a little push in the back. He
felt the touch to goes down.
Yeah, it's not anything significant enough that's gonna get you the call in that situation. I understand why players do that, but it's just like, gosh. Sometimes because realistically, you feel a little push in the back. You really think you're going to get a penalty? Just follow through with the whole play. So going on the 90th minute, let's see if there's any. How much stoppage time are you feeling? I'm thinking a calm 5 minutes.
I was gonna say like my over under would be like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 4, to be honest. I don't know if I remember too many stoppages besides substitutions in the second half. It's kind of been flowing. I would say maybe 4.
Sometimes stoppage time is just vibes. They're like, all right, you know, what's the vibe of this game? You know,
what are we gonna do? Like, all we can do is take their word for it.
Yeah, if it's still cooking. Yeah, nobody's gone back and counting up all the stoppages. You know, so you know it could be 7 for all we know. Based on how the vibes in this game definitely feels like it might have something left in it for either team, honestly, at this point.
It's been on a knife's edge, it feels like, for a little bit.
Nah, get up. Good. Harbor Miller, but Royce realistically was calling for that, and he could have been in.
But it's also, you're never going to put Marco Royce in the foot.
Yeah, Royce is not he's not gonna have the legs for that, as Ricketts gets yellow carded. It's gonna be a free kick opportunity for the LA Galaxy here. Another yellow card for San Jose.
And just the byproduct of good work of hustle from Harbor Miller.
Yep.
If you just keep running, you're gonna get rewarded. That's all he does is run. He has a lot of great qualities as well, but if you're a young player watching, young kid, all he did in that sequence was run, and he's got a ton of value for the LA Galaxy. You don't need to do too much.
Run 4 minutes. There you go. We're gonna be on the lower end here. Marco Royce, this could be so pivotal for the Galaxy. A point on the road at San Jose would be great. Given the circumstances, but I think they have an opportunity for all three here. Royce swings it. Miller would be first to it. Can San Jose keep this out, or will it be a corner? They clear it. Back to Royce's feet, though. Yamane. Miller swings it. Miller. What a ball for Yoshida, who just doesn't get clean contact on it. It's tiny bit too far behind him. And great look, though. San Jose on the counter, though. Timo Werner. To the back post for Buddha. Oh, they're looking for a touch for John Nelson, but they're not going to get it, I don't think. It's going to be a goal kick for LA Galaxy. 3 minutes left in this match.
It's going to be a helter-skelter end of the game is what it's already.
Look back at the Joseph Paintsil goal. What a tidy finish. Right through the goalkeeper's legs. It looks simple, but it's a lot harder. A lot harder to be in that situation. Pull off that nutmeg finish. So
even that pass across from Harbor Miller with a couple of defenders, he's got a pretty thin line to thread between Marco Royce and those defenders. A nice cutback from him there too.
2 minutes here.
Chat, how we feeling? Who's nervous? Who's clenching?
Yeah, whole lot of clenching going on. A whole lot of nerves. The Galaxy need one more goal to come out with all 3 points in this rivalry game. Royce, it's going to be cleared out. San Jose hit us. Timo Werner has so much pace. He's going to burn my Yoshida here, I think. But good recovery by Edwin. Timo Werner into the box. Great job by JT. JT's out so far. Was he? Oh, my gosh.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. A lot of nerves. Of nerves.
Blocking a tire up there.
Did he handle that outside of the box?
He must have been on the line. He was right on the edge. It felt very close. I thought his hand was a little bit outside the box. I wonder if he got away with something here. Great clearance there to close that down. But right here, maybe just inside.
Yeah, that looked so close.
Squeaky bum time.
Oh, Buddha. Oh, that's a penalty. Yeah, okay. Well, that's absolutely
JT not getting it right then. Had such a good performance all game.
94 minutes and it comes to an end on a penalty is just brutal. JT's not complaining. He knows it's a penalty. If you don't get the ball there, if you don't get the ball 100% every day of the week, that's a penalty. San Jose will possibly win this game here unless JT could come up with the save of his life. What a ball by
He didn't really need to go out that far either. I don't think he needed to get a leg out. No angle there. He just had to hold the ground.
Yeah, that ball realistically is probably going out of bounds there. Or not out of bounds. He might get a touch and cross it to nobody.
Right, attacker's got no control of the ball. It's coming in way too fast.
And this Cali Clasico might be decided by a 94th minute penalty.
And a great performance from JT down to drain. That's just a bad call. From a goalkeeping perspective, no need for that. It's just bad. And he had so many great moments all game.
There's so much risk to that. There's so much risk. If that ball's 50-50, you're taking a 50-50 shot at a penalty because you're going to get him on the follow-through.
That was I don't think he rushed out too far. From a goaling perspective, I think there's just a lot of mistakes. He had a lot of great calls. All the other ones, I think he had timed perfectly. He just didn't need to go out there. He just
That's the goalkeeper's game. I think JT's been great this game, and it's just one mistake, and boom, you just cost your team, and it sucks because he's been great. Timo Werner will step up for the penalty for San Jose to win this Cali Clasico for them. The ball by Bo Leroux, though, just splitting the back line was insane, and then Buddha's pace to catch up to it. It's just Galaxy not able to handle here and not able to hold on, but JT Marcinkowski, you caused the mistake. You save it. Come on, this is it. Make yourself
his old fans trying to spoil the party.
Timo Werner stepping up for the penalty. Save!
Oh,
Save! Rebound! Out! Yoshida out! That's game! That's game! That's got to be
The
game!
LA
What a
Galaxy.
save! What a save by JT Marcinkowski!
Unreal.
Oh my God! Saves the Galaxy. Are they going? What's the review? Are they saying he's off his line? He can't be. He's not off his line. There is no way
never.
he's off his line.
I don't think there's anything in the follow-up either. Maybe a foul there? No, I don't think so.
No, there's nothing. There is nothing to that. There is nothing to that. That should be game. The ball's back in play. Paint still gets burned. Back post. Timo Werner. Whistle, ref. Whistle. Please.
What an end to this game.
Get it out. Corner kick, San Jose. Oh my gosh. What a save by JT.
What a way to end.
Oh my gosh.
JT's saving a point for the LA Galaxy.
Oh my gosh. This is something that you look at the end of the season. If something's determined by 1 point, playoffs are a lot of fighting going on. This is Cali Classico, everyone. Tempers are flaring.
Yeah.
Oh man. This is great. This is the type of game you want to see. This is absolute. Painstill's gonna get yellow carded here. I don't care. This is great. This is Cali Classico heritage. Oh man, it's nice. I haven't seen the rivalry actually mean this much to to both teams, because it's usually meaning more to San Jose. Timo Werner, man, just not a good penalty. Puts it right where you can't put it. Right in the middle of the goal, low, kind of that middle spot where it's not low enough.
Favorite spot.
Yeah, just not the place where you want to put a penalty at. But what a
JT
save.
guessing right, getting hands.
Timo Werner into the box. Ball swung in. That's got to be game. That's game. A point saved in the Cali Classico. The Galaxy will feel they got away with one here because JT Marcinkowski. Wow. Caps off a great performance. Obviously, he had the mistake, but if you make that mistake, you got to make up for it. And he does in the biggest way. And, just it feels like a point gained. It feels not like it's going to feel like 2 loss for San Jose. And it's going to feel like a point gained for the Galaxy, because that's how it is. I mean, oh, man. Yeah, Timo Werner, can't believe it. What a match. So back and forth. Holy crap.
This feels like a statement for the Galaxy, I think, for themselves, letting them know that we can compete and be in games and play till the 90th minute. It feels everybody looks to be walking around with their head high. They kind of have that feeling that they gained a point. Like they drop points. It's bad for the table. It's not a good result, but anemically, it's going to feel much better than those last 3 zeros that ones that they've had to face. And it was on the back of a solid performance, like hard work from everybody. It's something they had to fight for. You talked about them having to steal a point. They definitely stole it here. So there's a lot more execution that was a big word we've used. It's kind of been the key word of this season, but a lot more of it tonight. And again, the team showing up in ways that they didn't in the first couple of games. It better late than never, I guess, but it's hoping that they can keep this going. This looks like a pretty different Galaxy, maybe figuring out a little bit more how to solve for the lack of, Gabriel Beck. Maybe they've been kind of refining things in those first 2 games. Now they kind of understand a little bit more what their future is. And this feels like much more, just more clarity. All in all, this felt like just a much more complete performance. I think the subs were great. Greg Vanny usually gets a lot of stick from us. His subs not changing the games, but we talked about Winder impacting the game. Yeah. Nelson not necessarily doing too much good, too much bad, but besides, it's just a lot more good to talk about than there has been in recent games. So not a good result. Still not much to be happy about in terms of the season, but again, you look at JT smiling. I think the team, this is going to feel big for them as something to build off of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that's gonna make them, skyrocket up the table, but every point matters. Every single point matters, whether it's match day 1, match day 18, or the last one. And this is something where the Galaxy fought genuinely until the end. It was so back and forth, and they could have easily put their heads down after that San Jose goal and been like, all right, like,
It
this
kind
is,
of looked like that, right?
yeah,
Those first 15 minutes where the Galaxy weren't in the game.
yep. And then when San Jose finally got that breakthrough goal after the first 15 minutes of the second half, they could have been like, all right, whatever. Like, this is it. We suck and we're gonna, fold over and die. But the response was great, and they really turned it into a back and forth game, which is pretty much all you could ask for from a team that's been so good on the counter, is to get in a match in a Cali Classico where it's so back and forth. And obviously they almost die there at the end just off of a simple breakdown that leads to a penalty and then a error by JT. But these are season defining moments. You live or die by rivalry games, and it could either kill your season or it could spark it back up. And I think you saw flashes of what the Galaxy can do. And I'm excited when they get Kyogo in to see the impact that he could have on this squad. But I genuinely do feel like there were good signs to be shown in this game that the Galaxy are a team that could that we can play like this consistently. I mean, San Jose's second in the Western Conference, and we just went toe to toe with them. And I mean, you look at chances both of us had. They had the penalty with like the paint sill, almost double post. I mean, we're looking at a completely different game if that is the case. And we're talking about probably 3 points here. So it's things like that where it draw is fine. I mean, it's 3 points. It's not 3 points, but it's going to be something that this team can build off of play style wise, momentum wise, and kind of getting back into the flow. Like you said, the World Cup break, the first game off the World Cup break is, I don't know why they scheduled an El Trafico for that. I don't know why we wanted that to happen because, like you said, it was basically glorified preseason for the Galaxy at that point. The best teams will come alive from it. Like, we literally kickstarted LAFC season again. They've won 3 straight games now because of that match. But we kind of had to build into it a bit more. We were more slow progressing. And now I'm hoping they could take the next step up. And the big thing is home games that they haven't been able to get points out of. And our next game's at home. So it's time. It's time for the Galaxy to get 3 points against an FC Dallas team that Peter Moose always causes us problems. And he's, I believe, leading Golden Boot. So we're going to have to see how that matchup goes against a back line that will have Glesnes and Hack back again. So I think all things considered, all the pieces that we had for this match, we did the best that we could have from it. So I'm pleased with this performance. It's an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 or 9 out of 10 from me. So I'm very happy with this from the Galaxy.
Definitely, it's one of those where it, like in any, if we're like the top version of the Galaxy, this I feel like we would be more disappointing. But because of where we're just coming from, this feels like, again, just like a big step up, and yeah, like a place to build. I think that excitement is warranted. Later on, I feel like we're going to hear the press conference, and I think people are rightfully going to be disappointed we didn't go ahead and win this game, and they're going to feel, oh, it's the same old excuses from Greg Vanney, it's this and this. But I don't know. We've talked about it today in this game. There's a lot more evidence when I've, at least personally, I've criticized Greg Vanney and the way he goes about games. It's because he'll go a 90 minutes or a whole season without giving me so much to hold on to positively talk about. I feel like in this game, the players, especially, they just gave us so much more. So lots more positive signs when you go ahead and you do hear those excuses in the press conference later. I think this time around, they're a bit more warranted. There's genuinely, it's not 3 points, but there generally are reasons to to feel optimistic, but it's about appearing the same way. We talked about the LA Galaxy not being a good home team. You mentioned that their next game is against FC Dallas, a team that they always struggle with, but it's a team that, again, it's at home. They have to, their fans are going to want to win. There's going to be that pressure. This team can't allow themselves to fall, to be that weak mentally. They have to deliver when the pressure is on, when the eyes are on them, when people want them to score those goals at home. So it's going to be interesting, I think, from a mental perspective to see how they carry this in. But if this is, again, a jump start and they're able to not treat this next home game like a preseason game, again, there's a lot more reasons to be excited, especially once you think about the signings that hopefully are coming soon. And again, we're supposed to be getting a DP hopefully in a few weeks' time. That's what was promised to us this window. So again, this group without the DP is looking a little bit better. With that, we should, again, take another big step. So it's in Greg Vanney right now, he's always in an interesting position. But again, this is a place to build. But if he loses another home game, makes it 3 home losses in a row, he could very well, this entire performance goes completely out of the window.
Yeah.
So a lot riding on Dallas.
Goes to waste. So yeah, that Dallas game is going to be a big one to look forward to. The Galaxy, that's another 6-pointer. The Galaxy are going to have to get a big result out of that game, and Dallas will probably be, around the 7th seed if we're looking at how the playoffs could shape. I think that is one that the Galaxy are going to have to win. They're, I believe, 6th place right now, but they're a playoff contender. We can't keep letting that separation grow and grow. If we're looking at a DP, I expect that DP will probably make a debut against Houston on August 15th on the road. I think even if they sign one this week, I don't think they'll be ready to play, obviously, for Dallas. So I'm looking at that 2-week break once Leagues Cup starts. I think will be a huge opportunity to get that designated player in and probably ready to start for that Houston away game. If not, it depends how quickly you get them in. But and then there's the reverse fixture at home against San Jose coming up on the horizon. So big results, big matches coming for the Galaxy. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Andrew, for joining me along this very wild ride. That is the 2026 LA Galaxy, or LA Galaxy generally. So, thank you a lot for showing up, and you are welcome on the podcast on Tuesday as always. And where can people find your work?
Yeah, my man, I appreciate it. Yeah, super great to be back. But as you see on the screen, NGF Andrew, you put that into Twitter. That's probably where you're going to find the most of me. We're also on Instagram, Nuestra Galaxia Futbolera. And to find a lot of our coverage, we're spending a lot of time on the Clash of Cosmos YouTube channel. We got that podcast coming out weekly. We're there with Dylan, me, a couple of other great Galaxy fans. But yeah, you could probably catch us here on the Talking Galaxy podcast. I've been enjoying this stuff, this watch along. My very first one, but I had a good time. So maybe we'll keep it going. But yeah, you can find me there. I appreciate you guys hanging out.
No, of course. Thank you. Welcome back. And yeah, it is great to be back. And, having you on the podcast is always welcome on any time. And then thank you, chat, for being very lively tonight. Along with the ride, I know we had almost 40 viewers at a point. So, do appreciate it a lot. And as for myself, I am at Peyton_shot_it on Instagram for my photography work, or at Talking Galaxy. That celebration gives me flashbacks, unfortunately. Or at Talking Galaxy on TikTok, and you can find us on Instagram. We are live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Make sure to tune in for our regularly scheduled podcast. And thank you all.